left me comments and I read each one of them. Some left me in a world of darkness they didn't understand. I guess I'll just quit the internet. It's stupid. I'm not posting anything online again. Everybody hates me. Nobody cares. What is going on up here? Daylight. 16. Sunny season 16. Wasn't quite as bad, with some notable improvements, but still notes to recommend. 16, that's it, 16. Oh, sunny season 16. Oh, wasn't quite as bad. Oh, with some notable improvements and still notes to recommend. 16, 16. Oh, sunny season 16. Oh, wasn't quite as bad. Hi, welcome back. Been a while. I moved. A lot of you guys have been asking me for my thoughts on the new season of Always Sunny since it came out after my 2-hour analysis extravaganza eleganza, which you can watch here if you haven't. It may give you some more context for where I'm coming from here. And I thought that's a great idea. But I just had a hard time getting back in the zone of talking about Sunny, cause you guys, I'd like to not make a habit of responding to the proverbial haters, but this was a little ridiculous. You are more than welcome to disagree with me with anything that I say or do, but at least listen to what I'm saying. I'm convinced half of those ones I showed in the intro were literally just looking for something to be mad about, which is fine. I knew going into this that Sunny has an extremely loyal fan base, which I will again emphasize I am a part of. I am one of you. This is friendly fire. I just want to talk about a show that we both like. I have some opinions about how the writing has changed. In my opinion, the writing has not been as tight lately as it used to be, but I don't hate you. I'm not coming for your firstborn or anything. You are super hecking loved and super hecking valid, and I cannot take that away from you, regardless of what I think about your favorite show. I am truly just some guy on the internet. And so are you. This is a fun exercise for me, right? I think about these things when I watch a show, and I think it's interesting, so I like sharing it online. If that's your jam, if you feel ready to talk about a show with me, thank you. You're doing great. But if you're already angry, this may just not be the video for you. And that's okay. I'd love if you stayed, but I need you to know that you know, that we both know, that me having thoughts on a show we both like does not constitute a threat to you or your livelihood. If you're not sure if that's doable for you right now, feel free to go take a walk, grab a snack, do some grounding exercises, come on back, and then I'd love to have you, all right? Here, I'll even do some breathing with you so we can all just center together, okay? If you continue watching, you are signing a social contract that you did deep breathing with me, okay? I'll know if you didn't, and I will sue. This is called a box breath. I learned it from my therapist. You breathe in 4, hold for 4, out 4, hold for 4. Yeah. Ready? Doesn't that just make you feel safe and non-threatened by opinions of a stranger online? I'm sorry. Some of you were not mad. Some of you were actually very helpful. For example, every day I wake up to 2 new comments alerting me that one joke in part 1 of Charlie's Home Alone about the asparagus is about sperm count. Asparagus makes your sperm count higher. Did you guys know that? I didn't. But I do now, and I will never forget it. It will haunt me, maybe for the rest of my life. No one else needs to let me know. I understand. The asparagus joke was a sperm thing. The episode Waiting for Big Mo is based on a play called Waiting for Godot. The play Waiting for Godot, that's what the episode Waiting for Big Mo is based on. The play on which Waiting for Big Mo was based is called Waiting for Godot. Asparagus, sperm, Godot. This has been my life for the past 5 months. I don't mean to sound ungrateful. I am genuinely so thankful for all of the positivity I've received on that first video. It far outweighs the negative, but I am only human, and there's only so many asparagus sperm Godot comments I can get before I start feeling a little...
Shut up! Oh my god, I don't care!
So, it's been a while since the first video, yes, but I needed to regroup a little. I'm sure you guys can understand. But I'm refreshed now and ready to take that dive back into the sunny pool. So thank you for your patience, genuinely. From the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone who has stuck around, waited, stayed tuned in for this, and for all the kind words on the sunny video. It genuinely does mean the world to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To the majority of you. So what did I think of season 16 of Always Sunny? Well, it's complicated.
Jardy McDennis, the game of games.
Now, the point of the game is actually quite simple. It's a race to the finish from level 1 to level 3.
This is the board.
Yes, and we start at level 1, which is mind. That consists of trivia, puzzles, and artistry.
Yes, it is also the level at which the alcohol being consumed is wine.
This better not be a cork, because I do not own a corkscrew. For my overall seasonal remarks and recap of last video, I found the mind level of Jardy McDennis to be perfectly redundant. For this level, I will be presenting my brainy ideas and drinking wine. Cheers to the pursuit of knowledge. Alright, that's enough of that. And before anybody comments that this is the same outfit from last video, it's not, okay? That video, the shirt was yellow. It was clearly Charlie's lawyering outfit. This time the shirt is white and I have khakis and a black belt on. This is clearly Charlie's Pepe Sylvia outfit from the meme. So yeah, I had mixed thoughts. While the whole comment situation was certainly a contributing factor to how long this video took, I would be lying if I said I was like chomping at the bit to revisit this season. I watched each episode as they came out and I was like, yeah, I think. Right? But that's not really enough for a video, so I knew I would have to rewatch this season a couple times and format everything, write my ideas, yada yada, video essay. And this season is only 8 episodes, so it really should have been a breeze. But you guys, I just could not bring myself to rewatch these. It was a struggle. And in some ways, I think I underestimated the season based off of a few episodes because I do think some of these are genuinely good. But I think it's important to note how much I felt myself dragging my feet to revisit this season just to kind of set expectations. There was a lot I thought was good here, but I wasn't necessarily rushing to rewatch them all, if that makes sense. This was also supposed to be a really quick and easy follow-up sort of coda to my Always Sunny video, but then I realized I have a lot of thoughts about the new season and it quickly turned into a much larger project. So, again, thank you for your patience on this one. I'm gonna jump into my thoughts on each episode in a second, but first I want to review my main takeaways from the other seasons from last video. As you may remember, I created a foolproof system called the Mary system for getting the show back on track. Let's go over what I was hoping to see from this season, and then I'll take you through each episode, tell you my thoughts, and we'll see if the Mary system was put to use. M. Make Mac badass again. In other words, de-Flanderize the characters. My points here were as follows. Rein in Dennis and Dee's evilness and keep their rage bottled up until you earn an explosion. I said that weird. Don't worry about it. Double down on Charlie and Frank's friendship and home life. It was brought into question in the last season, and it's a core part of the main group, so we gotta double down on them being friends. Respect gay Mac. And while we're at it, bring back his other traits. Badassery, bodybuilding, Catholicism, all of it. Make Mac a character. Save Dennis and Mac's friendship, possibly by giving Mac a love interest. Mac and Dennis's relationship has really been Flanderized to a point where Dennis hates Mac so much, and Mac is so obsessed with Dennis, and it's just kind of this uncomfortable power dynamic to watch play out. It was more fun when they were friends. Make them friends. And possibly most importantly, utilize character traits for story beats. Do we know a thing about a character? That could be an episode. The overall goal here is to make the characters feel like real-ish people again and ensure that their relationships with each other make sense, then use those relationships to drive stories. A. Assess satire. I feel that the recent seasons of Always Sunny have gotten a lot messier with satire, sometimes even crossing the line into straight up punching down. I got some comments that disagreed really strongly with this, especially about my takes about the treatment of gay Mac and the use of brownface and the gang recycles their trash. And that's completely valid. Satire is really tricky because it's steeped in so much irony that anyone can have a different takeaway watching the same scene based on their background or biases or just how deep they're reading into the text of the show. Satire is necessarily interpretive. What they're saying on the screen is not always what we're meant to agree with or take away, which requires deeper thinking from the viewer, and sometimes different viewers won't take away the same message. For a show like Sunny, though, which is first and foremost a satire, I think it's even more important to think about how certain satirical ideas will play. I don't think that's like a moot point because people can interpret it differently. If anything, I think it's more important to really focus on how your satire is going to play, especially when we're dealing with fraught political issues and marginalized groups that don't really need any more vitriol thrown their way. If that makes me the woke mob, so be it. So my points here were, keep it topical and keep it timeless. Lean into or away from politics, but no weird metaphors. No more haircuts as a metaphor for abortion or maybe trans rights, and then no one's really sure what the episode's about, and it's all just kind of whatever. And number 2, the joke must be on the gang. No punching down. Boomer's gonna hate this one. This has been the formula of the show from the beginning. The gang are jerks. We need to know that they are jerks. R. Resuscitate heart. The main characters have gotten a lot more mean-spirited with how they treat each other in the later seasons, contrary to several comments that the show has always been mean-spirited, and that's the fun of it. Snowflake. While the gang certainly fights and are mean to each other from time to time, the status quo of the show is tied up in these characters remaining friends and therefore keeping each other wrapped up in their joint fantasy that they're the only right people, maybe in the world. Let me say that another way. The show, lasting as long as it has, is dependent on the maintenance of the characters' relational status quo. It's not that I never want the show to change, it's that the foundation can't start moving if we're gonna keep trying to add floors on top. The gang should absolutely fight and get mad at each other, that's what they do. But if we as an audience can't believe that they would still be friends with each other, then we can no longer suspend our disbelief that this group of people is still pulling schemes together after 18 years. It all starts to feel artificial and the conceit of the show falls apart. And even if you don't buy that, are you really gonna try to tell me that these scenes are equally fun for you to watch?
How was Charlie's?
The way they live, bro, it's like,
Preposterous.
yeah, dude, preposterous.
Yeah.
I've been trying to come up with that all day.
Yeah.
God, dude, this is why you and I are such a good team. You know, like, I'm a man of action, and you're a man that comes up with good
Words?
words, dude.
Okay.
Yes, Dennis, I know exactly what you told us to do. I've memorized it. I know where to be and when to be at all times.
Okay, good, yeah. Needy and desperate for approval, but good.
Maybe you genuinely have the exact same experience watching these two scenes back to back, and if that's the case, power to you, but I personally feel a complete, soulless, unhappy darkness from the second clip, and I miss when things were joyful. Sue me about it. Maybe that's just my personal taste, but here's one thing I will say. There's this rule in comedy writing that you don't mess with eyes and nails. In slapstick, characters are typically gonna get hurt a lot for comedic effect, but you never show anything too graphic happening with eyeballs or nails, because those parts are too sensitive for the audience to find funny, and it slips into more cringe, and not cringe comedy, cringe like I can't look at it.
And then this happens. Alright, dumbasses. An important rule of slapstick is to never, ever harm the eyes, fingernails, or toenails on camera. Those are extremely sensitive parts of our bodies, and pain towards them will automatically make us cringe.
You shift from the playful schadenfreude zone into the cringe zone. Maybe Sunny has always been a little bit mean, sure. But it was satirical, it was schadenfreude, it was playful, it was slapstick. When Dennis and Mac were mad at each other, it was enjoyable, it was fun, it was Dee hitting her head on a car and setting off the alarm. That second clip does not feel the same to me. It's cruel, it's dark, it's Charlie crying out for help in an empty bar with his leg stuck in a bear trap. It makes me cringe. Do you see where I'm going with this? Funny mean, yes. cringy cruelty no. And yes, there is a difference. Boomer. So, my points here are, overall, look like you're having fun. Make the gang friends. Possibly done by uniting them with a common enemy like the McPoyles. Speaking of the McPoyles, bring the side characters back. We have so many fun characters to play around with that we just haven't heard from or seen in a minute. Rehab Charlie and the waitress's dynamic. This could also kind of fit under deflanderization, make Mac badass again, but I put it here because Charlie and the waitress, despite Charlie clearly being in the wrong and being a stalker, there's something about how innocently he believes that it is love that is kind of pulls at your heartstrings. Like when you watch The End of the Night Man Cometh, it is kind of heartbreaking, right? But not in like an over-the-top kind of breaking the reality of the show way. It's believable, but it gives kind of an added heart and depth, right?
I'm sorry, I want to get this clear. You are saying no?
Oh, I am definitely saying no.
That's it. You can go home. It's over.
Well, we're gonna do it now.
Hold on.
So more of that. And no more gross out, and no more sadism. Again, yes, Sonny has always had some gross out, like Frank coming out of the couch.
Oh, great. Now you...
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about eyes and nails, boils on faces that won't go away, hot wings up a nose, lazy, cringe, gross out humor that's used as a replacement for actual story. Thank you. Why? You already broke reality. Have fun with it. In other words, unjump the shark. The show's been going on for so long that the gang has done just about everything, and they've got to start getting weird with it. This is sometimes called jumping the shark, and it's seen as a sitcom's death sentence, but I don't think it has to be. I think they can either still backpedal and get back to the status quo, or they can use shark jumping to their advantage if they lean even further into the insanity. So my points here are either reground the show or go fully surrealist. So, we have a chart. The top comment on my last video was saying that my video gave the same energy as Charlie talking about Pepe Sylvia for 2 hours, and I really enjoy that as my reputation. I'd like to cultivate that more. So I'm gonna go full conspiracy theorist, and I have the episodes here, and when they do one of these things, I'm gonna connect it with string until we have a full Pepe Sylvia board. Is there a word for this? Conspiracy board? A beautiful mind? I don't know. It's a Pepe Sylvia board to me. So with that, let's get into my thoughts on each episode.
Moving on to level 2, which is body, physical challenge, pain, and endurance. That's the beer level.
PBR drinkers, rise. I'm gonna try to do the no swearing rule for this section. Let's see how I do. I also want to state here that while I did just say that I had a little bit of a hard time rewatching this season, calling it an act of physical pain and endurance is a joke. A bit of hyperbole. Do not hurt me. Hey team, Editor Mary here, and in this first episode review section, I'm looking down at my notes a lot. I got a lot of comments, well not a lot, but I got a couple comments on my last video being like, stop looking at your script, look at the camera. And, you know, on the one hand, I'm doing a lot of work here, get off my back. But on the other hand, you are kind of right. And I do get better as the video goes on. I start clocking these beers and I loosen up a little bit and I get a little more comfortable. But I hadn't filmed the video in a while and I had a lot to say and I wanted to make sure I said it right. So I'm looking at my script a lot for this first section. It gets better as the video goes on. Bear with me. Thank you. Love you. Bye. Let's get into it. Cheers. The Gang Inflates. We start out with a classic, the gang hanging in the bar cold open. Charlie's telling Frank about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, while Mac and Dennis browse the internet for a new couch because, they reveal, their old couch was rented for 15 years.
Wait, you rented your sofa?
So naturally, they start talking about inflation. Economic issue, satire, they're leaning into it. At this point, I was hoping this episode would sort of be a spiritual successor to The Great Recession, which is one of my favorites.
Because we'll redistribute these to the shanties, thus ensuring them coming back in, keeping the money moving.
Well, no, but if we just redistribute these, then people will continue to drink for free.
Okay.
How does this work, Mac?
The money keeps moving in a circle.
But we don't have any money. All we have is this. How does this work,
I
dude?
don't know. I thought you... What?
Mac and Dennis are pretty dumb here, but they were pretty dumb talking about the recession too, so I'd say it's pretty much in line with their characters, if maybe a little less believable here. At the same time, Charlie is like weirdly knowledgeable about all the economic talk, but he says that he learned about it from living with Frank, which is a fair enough explanation. And it's pretty clear that he's just kind of pretending to know what's going on, like when he does his lawyer bit.
You want me to walk him through it?
Charlie.
Yeah, you...
Shut up, Charlie. You don't understand any of
That's not true, dude. I've learned a lot about business living with Frank. You know, I know stuff. Also, speaking of, I got an investment idea.
So this gets a pass from me as well. The gang is then interrupted by Dee, who's getting evicted from her apartment.
Eh?
Oh, thank God. Hey, I'm being evicted. The landlord, he jacked up my rent and I can't pay. Now listen, I have glued my hand to the door so they can't physically remove me.
I'm just gonna say it right now. Dee is the highlight of this episode for me. Caitlin absolutely eats everybody else up and it's not even a contest. She literally said, let me serve bang and glue my hand to a wall. I wish she had more to do. And that will become a theme, unfortunately. So anyway, Mac and Dennis still aren't really grasping inflation. So Charlie takes a crack at explaining it to them, and we get the first gay Mac joke of the season.
Basically, it boils down to your nut, right? Like, how much, nut do you go through a month?
I don't want to talk to you about...
Yeah, I figured you were, man.
Okay, another thing I have to bring up from my comment section from the last video. A lot of people took issue with my issue with how the gang treats gay Mac since his coming out. Most specifically with the Dennis sex doll situation. The joke isn't that Mac is gay, they say. The joke is that Mac is obsessed with Dennis. Blank stare. Okay, the joke is that Mac is creepily obsessed with Dennis. Do you notice when this joke started gaining more and more traction and becoming the biggest part of Mac's whole character? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't when the two of them were codependent best buddies, and it wasn't even really when the rest of the gang thought he might be gay. The turning point for Mac and Dennis's dynamic, when Mac became obsessed with Dennis and Dennis started hating Mac, was, all together now, when Mac came out as gay. Are we understanding how these two things are linked? Mac is obsessed with Dennis equals Mac gay. You really cannot have one without the other in the latest seasons of Always Sunny. That is my issue. There's also been people saying that the joke is that Mac is a crazy sexual deviant, not that Mac is gay. Again, I say to you, when exactly did Mac start being a crazed sex fiend? I will allow that he had sex with Dennis and Dee's mom, but am I crazy to say that that's maybe even tame in comparison to the bike and a sex doll of your best friend? I don't, that might be up for debate. But I do think that these jokes about Mac being a pervo freakazoid only really started cropping up when the gang started wondering if he was gay, and then they hit their peak after his coming out. These things are linked, right? Satire is great, that's the point of the show, and gay characters do not and should not have to be perfect Mary Sue angels with no flaws. My issue is that Mac being gay is used as an easy and lazy gross out gag, which in my opinion is, well, lazy and kinda gross. If you disagree with me, serve, mama. God bless you and yours, but I'm gonna keep pointing it out because I want to see them try harder, and I know they can do better than this. So, anyway, Mac nuts a lot in a month, so Frank tricks him into trading $1 for 50 cents.
Oh, it's worth 25 cents right
There,
now.
yeah.
$1's worth 25 cents.
Yeah, but I'll give you 50 cents for a book.
Rocky start. Overall, I think the vibes here are more in line than they were in season 15. The nut joke has me wary about Make Mac badass again, but overall the characters are feeling more like themselves and assess satire is on track. So Mac surprises Dennis with an inflatable couch as a cheap option to replace their old couch, and you guys, they're friends again!
Come, have a seat. Oh, shit. An inflatable couch. Yeah, it was super cheap, dude.
The way that this felt like Christmas morning, just seeing them interact like two human beings after the absolute trenches we've had to see their relationship go through in the last few seasons. Like, I'm literally kicking my legs in the air and twirling my hair. The boys are back in town. Mac also got a bulk tin of nuts that they can survive off of for weeks.
And speaking of nuts, I also purchased these.
Okay, went real literal with it, didn't you?
Alright, it's very silly, and I'm not sure it makes a ton of sense, but I like where their heads are at. I'm a little wary this is gonna turn into a weird allegory thing like a woman's right to chop. Assess satire is teetering on the edge. And the exchange afterward drags on a little long for me.
Giving me another idea of how we could possibly inflate things a little further?
Oh, well, You can't inflate this any further because it'll pop.
Just a figure of speech.
No, trust me, I tried. I already popped 2 of them earlier today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I just kept blowing and blowing and blowing. Just boom.
Okay. All right. Well, that's okay.
It's funny, don't get me wrong. Seeing Dennis snap at the end got me, for real.
I'm not going to do it. I get what you're saying.
But if I were to edit this, I would just tighten it up a little bit. Then we go to Charlie and Frank's apartment, and they're also friends again, and having a wacky home life.
Charlie, check this out, a new lamp.
It looks like an old lamp, but like,
That's a new lamp.
what's with the lamps, man? You keep coming back with all this junk. That's like the 5th lamp.
Don't worry about it.
Guys, did you watch my video? Be so for real right now. Like, that was verbatim one of my points. You guys saw my video. Big check for Make Mac Badass again. Fix the character dynamics. My heart is singing. Apparently, Frank keeps bringing back lamps from dubious locations, which will be explained later on. He goes to put one in a storage closet, only to discover...
Wait. What's this? Is that a toilet? What else are you hiding from me?
Nothing.
What's behind that door? Holy shit!
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Sensational. So Dee arrives and again steals the whole scene.
Yes, I'm coming. All right. Jesus.
I need a place to stay. Let me talk to Frank.
What's on your hand?
It's a piece of door. Move past it. Frank!
Gonna say again, I do wish Dee had more going on because Caitlin seems to have the highest energy of everyone here and it's really, really fun.
Totally
What is going on over here?
Yeah.
This is tits. Why don't you use this room?
So Dennis and Mac want to pitch Frank their inflatable furniture idea, and we get this bit with Mac.
What happened to your lips?
Oh, it must be from the plastic.
It's probably from all the blowing.
Why are they doing this to me? They don't have to. There are other things that they could do. So, whatever. Mac and Dennis offer their pitch on inflation.
Take a look at that lookbook. Turn to the first page, you'll see,
Oh.
Yeah. Yes. As the years have gone by, her backside has gotten bigger and bigger. It's inflated.
And this is funny, but I wish there was a more concrete scheme here. Like, what exactly are they pitching him? Inflation as a concept? I want a scheme with precise, absurd details, like the door-to-door gas salesman. Anyway, we go back to Charlie and Dee in the other room, and once again, I am truly chuckling and cackling at Dee and Dee alone.
Do you have any idea how much time I spent like tracking and researching the price of this online currency?
That's gotta be maddening.
Did you clear your hand on my door?
Yeah, I did.
Why?
Well, it's a new form of protest, Charlie. People are doing it to, call attention to injustices or some shit. I don't know. Either way, I'm locked in.
I hope this door thing pays off later and ties in with other plots going on, because otherwise I'm gonna be really sad that this was all they gave her to do. Let's keep watching. Mac and Dennis leave their business meeting and...
What's going on with Mac's lips?
I don't know. They're insane. It's.
I think it's a little bit of the plastic is just
probably from all the blowing he's been doing.
He's been making homophobic jokes.
When I tell you that I screamed, yes, Mac! Yes! Thank you, Mac! Let them know! But also, wait, because they know they're doing it? Like, I don't know. I'd rather they just didn't do it in the first place. But I'll take what I can get. Like, this is a start. We can work with this. Notice, though, that not much has really happened yet, and we're like halfway through. This is probably my biggest issue overall with this season, where it feels like the whole episode is talking about what they should do, and then they only do stuff in like the last 5 minutes. And like, the conversations they do have are better than they have been in recent seasons, but I just wish they were happening in a more interesting way. Like, we could talk about this for a shorter amount of time and then just actually do the thing, right? It's like show, don't tell. No one wants to watch a scene of 2 people talking about doing something. Just do the thing, you know? In improv, we sometimes call it shooting the deer.
We always say, shoot the deer, shoot the fucking deer. Because you see students will always do this thing like, well, there he is.
Well, he's a big one.
Yeah, he's a big guy. I'm real nervous, are you sure?
Did you bring the bullets?
Yeah, exactly. I thought you had them. Well, I do. You're just like, shoot the deer and deal with the deer. Like, your scene is so boring right now because you're just talking about this thing you're gonna do. Just see what happens. See what happens, because you're afraid that if we shoot the deer, the scene is over. So many new exciting things can happen.
Once you shoot the deer.
Yeah.
Shoot the deer. I miss when Sunny episodes were practically bursting at the seams with how much was going on. Remember all the side plots I told you about in The Gang Solves the Gas Crisis? Whatever happened to that? Again, it's just the energy feels low. We then see Mac and Dennis sharing a bed, and we get this convo.
You know what, man? This was a mistake. I can't sleep. It's your goddamn wheezing.
Am I wheezing?
Are you wheezing? You sound insane. Are you allergic to those nuts?
It's turning into gross out. Stop it, please. Give Mac something else to do. Then Charlie comes in and we have another business pitch conversation scene. And it's funny on the inflatable furniture, but we just did this with Mac, Dennis, and Frank.
Here's how this works. Cut me in on your operation, and I'll give you the information. See? I am a pretty good businessman after all.
It really starts to drag here for me. Let's see the scheme. Let's do the thing.
But you're just trying to bribe us and bartering with nuts that you probably foraged from a tree.
Some are from a tree, yes.
A fancy tree?
One of the fanciest, Mac.
Which one?
Let's pick it up, fellas. Then we find out Frank has been getting all those dubious lamps from tenants. He's a predatory landlord now. And he's actually Dee's landlord.
Grab anything small. Lamps are good because they're easy to run with.
What is happening? You're a slumlord now?
Yes, I collect on these guys, and if they don't pay, I throw them out in the street like I did you.
This is feeling kind of thrown in, right? Especially with only 6 minutes left in this episode. You see what I mean? This should have been a running plot line this whole episode, and it could have been tied up at the end with Mac and Dennis's furniture plot and Charlie's business opportunity thing. I guess they tried earlier with that line about where the lamps are coming from, but that was such a throwaway line. I didn't even catch it the first time I watched this episode. I didn't notice it till like the second or third time I watched it. Why are we pushing the whole plot to the last 5 minutes? To make time for Mac nut and blowing jokes and repetitive conversations? This script needed one more set of revisions, I fear. So finally we get to the scheme, and it lasts all of a minute or so.
Sir, hi, how are you today? It's a lovely day, isn't it?
Then it's back to Mac and Dennis's apartment where, I shit you not, Dee tries to do the same exact thing that Charlie did in the previous scene.
Dee, what the hell are you doing here?
Guys, I have information that will change the course of your company, and I will tell you what it is if you let me stay here.
Yeah, no, Charlie already tried that shit.
Oh shit, I swore. Oh, I did it again. Okay. I understand that that's the joke, right? That everyone's trying to do the same scheme. But when we've already had this kind of repetition with the inflatable furniture business deal scenes, it's just getting a little tiring. I just want more. You know what I mean? Anyway, Charlie pulls it all together.
Guys, let's pool all of our remaining nut together and turn it into a big pile of green, and then everybody gets a taste.
But oh no, he didn't mean green like money, he meant green like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, so these are like from 1991. These are the original ones.
I appreciate the silliness, but again, it feels like this should have come way earlier in the episode so we had more time to play with it rather than just throwing it in at the very end. I do enjoy this Frank and Charlie business off, though.
What do you got there?
1991's delicious cream-filled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pies, fresh from the sewers to me.
Name your price.
Board up that new room and the noisy toilet. Forgive Mac and Dennis's loan. Give Dee her apartment back and return everything to the status quo.
Fine. Done.
And I like that Charlie ties all their problems together in one thing, but I wish we could have actually seen more from each of these plots, if you could call them that. And a nice little Mac gross out button sends us on our way.
I'll be damned. He is good at business.
At this point, my outlook for the season was a little bit bleak. Like I said, there are a lot of bright spots, the characters' personalities, and the gang's dynamic is a lot better. They did an actual episode involving inflation that, yes, had a weird literalist thing with the inflatable furniture, but at least it made sense and ended with an actual business deal and talk of inflation. And they're definitely going for a little surrealism, which I can appreciate. My main problems are still the over-reliance on gross out, especially pertaining to Mac being gay, and just structural issues with the plot and pacing. I wish Dee and Mac, and honestly everyone, had more to do, rather than just kind of sit around and talk. So, yeah. Very mixed feelings. Mixed like a can of fancy nuts, if you will. Let's see what episode 2 brings us. Frank shoots every member of the gang. To be clear, I am not doing a beer per episode. It just happened to line up that way. Don't do that. For anyone drinking along. Also, if the angle and lighting looks like it's changing, that's because it is, and that's because I've never shot anything in my kitchen before, but this is the best wall I had to do this, so bear with me. So this one opens up with Frank, Dennis, and Dee out to dinner at a fancy restaurant.
Frank, would you like another buttered nipple?
Now, the cream is making me gassy.
Yeah. Well, you have had 4 of them.
Yeah.
My immediate question is, why isn't this Gugino's? Throughout the series, it's been kind of a running gag that anytime the gang has anything somewhat fancy to like celebrate about, they go to the same Italian restaurant called Gugino's.
Why do you look familiar to me?
I'm the waiter you didn't tip earlier.
Yeah, when you're not gonna get tipped again with that attitude.
Did you ever know that you're my hero? 'Cause you are the wind beneath my wings.
Gugino's. That's a nice place.
Yeah?
Yeah. Fresh fish daily. How do you not have fish? Who can play that game?
Banging your sister is preferred.
We haven't been here before?
No.
It's to the point where even the name Gugino's is kind of a joke. It's like breadsticks from Glee.
You know, I hear they don't even make these fresh. They fly them in frozen from some factory in the Dominican Republic.
Never really noticed because I haven't spent that much time around them, but poor people are generally less attractive than rich ones.
You girls are gonna need another cup.
And of course there's nothing wrong with the gang going somewhere new. It's just sort of one of those things that like was strange to me. Like it stuck out to me that they weren't at Gugino's. Like obviously this is a little bit of a nitpick, but it would just be such a slam dunk callback to just have it be at Gugino's. I don't know. I'm too hung up on Gugino's, I think. But like, if the options are like random restaurant that doesn't mean anything to anyone and restaurant that doesn't really matter but also is kind of a callback and relates to stuff you've already set up in the show, it's like, why wouldn't you do the one with more character to it? I don't know. So anyway, Frank thinks they brought him here to try to get more of his money, which they deny.
You know, I know what you're doing. This is your annual take me out and see if you can talk me into giving you more of my money. Oh, stop.
Is he talking to us?
Give me money.
I have in my notes here, Caitlin is slaying. True.
You know, I know what you're doing. This is your...
He's trying to open a can with a knife, but it's not working, so he pulls out his gun, which is, again, a running bit for Frank. He always has a little gun on him.
What you working on there, bud?
I brought my own can of anchovies because the fish in this place is not salty enough.
I think it's a really fun idea to take some little characteristic we already know about these characters and blow it up to the size of a whole episode. This is like exactly what I'm talking about when I say utilize character traits for story beats. In fact, can you see how this is just a little bit more clever than some random gross out bit? Like, sure, Frank could have tried to open the can and it could have slipped and hit him in the face, and then the whole episode could have been about him shoving things up his broken nose. But doesn't it feel like you're in on something when they bring up this aspect that's already been established in the show before this? Can you feel the difference? So Frank is hacking at this can with a gun, and Dee says this.
I want to point something out here to you, Frank. I think we do a pretty good job of pretending like you're not an animal.
Is that thing loaded, by the way?
And then...
I mean, if you think that you can... Okay, so it was loaded. My mistake. Oh, don't be so dramatic. I just nicked you. It's not like anybody's in any real danger.
Okay, this is a great concept. There are so many ways this could happen. I cannot wait to see what different side plots will interweave to make this possible, because there's a lot of potential here. Moving on. So Dennis and Dee go tell Mac and Charlie, and just watch this scene.
Oh, sorry, you came in all excited. I thought you were bragging.
I was picking up on an excited energy for
Getting
sure.
shot in the face and surviving is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyone else feel like it's kind of sleepy in here? Kind of like that Mac-Dennis conversation I wanted to tighten up in the last episode. Again, a lot of my issues with this season just come down to pacing and lack of energy. Like, the timing here is off, I feel.
On my mom's family side, I got a huge inheritance coming my way.
Wait, what? How did I not know this? You're gonna be rich?
Allegedly, in my personal opinion. According to my personal sense of humor and TV writing sensibilities, not at all objective, completely subjective. I'm getting heated. I'm calming down. Anyway, Charlie explains that he has an inheritance of teeth coming his way from his mom's side.
Everyone on my mom's side of the family, they've all been putting their teeth into a jar when they die. And when I turn 40, that sweet little piece of history's coming my way.
And yeah, that's on brand for Charlie. I'm not against that at all. I do, though, wonder about his family, like on a real level. Like, why would they do that? Whatever, they're having fun with it. I'm letting it slide. No one can accuse me of not wanting the show to take risks, okay? I'm letting it fly. And one other thing about Charlie in the scene is if you actually zoom in right there and, what is that? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm not sponsored by PBR, but I sure would like to be. Mac tells Charlie he's definitely older than 40, so they go to their mom's shared house to get the teeth heirloom. Hooray for side characters! First green on the board, and I'm aware it's not the same shade of green. Don't talk to me about it. Charlie asks his mom about the teeth, and she says she'll go get them. And while she's gone, we get this scene of Mac and his mom.
Hey, Mom, since we're here, do we have any kind of, like, family heirlooms or anything? Those letters exist? Who's got them?
Donald.
Donald? Donald who?
Keep it moving, guys! They're interrupted, finally, by Charlie's mom pulling her tooth out because she actually gave the heirloom away to Charlie's sisters.
To my sisters? Those ungrateful bitches? What the hell, Mom?
Charlie's sisters have been mentioned in exactly one Always Sunny episode.
Hello, Charlie.
Extremely deep cut, and not something I knew I was asking for, but they're using what they've already introduced, and I've got to commend them for that. Note again the red string from utilized character traits for story beats, going over to Frank shoots every member of the gang. I thought about putting a second one, but then I was like, it's the same bullet point. I'll do another one if they do something else. I know we're all very, very worried about how the chart is turning out. Anyway, Charlie gets mad, and it's probably the best moment of this season so far.
How could you do that? Now she's screaming. Now she's screaming. Well, you yell at her. Now Mom's screaming. Now Mom's screaming.
There's the energy. I also like Mac acknowledging that not a single fan of Sunny was wondering about Charlie's sisters.
Give it away to my sisters. They're the worst people on the planet.
I didn't even remember that you had sisters.
All right.
That's fun. I like that. I do like things. Like, I like this show. When they get it, they get it. And it makes me so happy. That's why I care. Back in the A-plot, Dennis, Dee, and Frank are in the car, and...
Hey, Frank, could you stop scratching yourself with the gun, please?
I'm itchy.
Okay, so that one line Dee said earlier about how they have to try really hard not to treat Frank like he's an animal, his whole thing this episode is being a dog. He's a dog in this episode. And that's fine. But again, I wish he had more to do. In this season, it feels like one or two characters always have to be out of commission. Like, the gang is never fully hitting on all cylinders. Does anybody remember? Oh my gosh, this is a deep cut. But does anyone remember that guy, Gary Johnson, who ran for president in 2016? And one of his debates, they were like, what are your thoughts on medical marijuana? And he was like, I have stopped smoking for this campaign because I want to be hitting on all cylinders.
Let's talk about marijuana. You have a 1 in 5, a higher chance of having a heart attack within the first hour after you smoke marijuana. There are legitimate side effects of this drug. The THC, when in this...
I'm sorry, okay. Focus in. Frank gets out of the car to pee on a fire hydrant, and Dennis and Dee decide they have to take his gun away.
You know what? He needs to be lulled into a false sense of security. You don't tell a dog you're taking him to a vet to put him down.
Right. You give that dog the best day of his life, and then you turn out the lights when he least suspects it.
Back to the B plot, and we've got Mac and Charlie and their moms in the car.
Another car just passed us. Mom, that's like the 50th car. Why are you going so slow?
Well, highways are scary.
You're going 35. I can see you're going 35.
And everybody's just in such a hurry.
I don't think I mentioned it at all in the last video, which is crazy, but Charlie's mom is actually an iconic OCD representation character, and as both an OCD haver and an extremely nervous highway driver, I just have to appreciate Charlie's mom for continuing to be a shining beacon of anxious relatability.
1, 2, 3. Good night, honey. Good night, Mac. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Mrs. Kelly,
Yes?
why are you doing everything in threes?
Oh, so Charlie doesn't die.
Mac's mom, however, is talking more in this episode than I think we've ever heard in the rest of the series combined.
He was here for a few months? Mom, why wouldn't you tell me that?
Okay, well...
She's saying, like, full sentences.
Do you mind, like, cracking a window or something?
No.
Why not? I mean, it's ridiculous to just sit in the smoke.
Because it's too drafty. It's unhealthy.
Little odd, little off-putting, I won't lie. Not the worst thing in the world, but it's just a little, I don't know. Anyway, Mac reveals that they're going to stop by his uncle's place on the way to Charlie's sister's house so he can get the old letters his uncle has so that he, too, can have a legacy heirloom thing. Back to Dennis D and Frank, and Dennis and D got Frank hamburgers, and basically we get another bit scene of Frank acting like a dog and having a gun.
Oh. I almost ate my gun. I dipped it in the ketchup. That was the fun.
Yeah, that is funny.
Listen, it's fine. It's funny even, but it is the same bit as the last scene, including him peeing on another fire hydrant.
Pissing on another hydrant.
Okay, he's literally turning into a dog.
Yeah.
And I know that's probably the joke, but isn't there anything more we can do with this? This scene just felt like a rehash to me. I want to see the dog bit heightened. I want to see it get even bigger. I just, again, I feel like this script could have used one more once-over. Just a little tightening up. The sensation is that we're wasting time. What they're doing with that time isn't damaging to the show or anything, so that's a far improvement from last season. But it just still feels like there's a lot more we could be doing with this time, right? Back to Charlie, Mac, and the moms, and they've arrived at Mac's uncle's house. If you thought this was the same house from the beginning of the episode, you are not alone. I fully did not get where they were the first time I watched this, because I'm pretty sure it's the same set as the house from the beginning, with the furniture rearranged. Like, this living room is the kitchen from the previous scene, is it not?
Huh? What happened? Oh, shit. Did she try to pull out her own teeth?
Did you try to pull out your own teeth?
She clearly did. I can see the pliers.
You can see the pliers, Mom.
I hope everyone brought their appetite because I made quiche.
Obviously, there's nothing wrong with reusing sets. The bank in The Gang Solves the Gas Crisis is very clearly Gugino's.
Is the reason you're requesting a loan today?
Wait for it. Gasoline.
Excuse me?
Don't rush me. Don't rush him. Thank you. I feel rushed.
But I think for me, it just adds to the draggy, kind of repetitive feeling when the scenes are Frank's a dog, house, car, same house, another car, another club, no sleep.
Bus, club, another club, plane, next place, no sleep.
Mac's mom speaks in another full sentence to say that she has to smash, and Charlie and Max say the word smash some more as what I can only imagine is an attempt at the sunny vernacular.
I gotta smash. You just smashed. You smashed like 3 times on the way up here. We keep having to pull over so you can smash.
There is a lot of smashing. She's very regular.
This could work if smash meant what they're saying. From context, I think they mean she has to pee, which is also kind of a rehash of Frank's fire hydrant bits in this episode. But also, I've never in my life heard someone refer to peeing as smashing. Actually, the main slang for smash that I hear is more akin to, like, bang, right? Like Mac was smashing the Dennis sex doll, for example. I apologize for bringing it up. I looked it up and there was one Urban Dictionary definition that said smash means to poop, so maybe it's that. But they're just kind of forcing it here.
Gretchen, stop trying to make smash happen. It's not going to happen.
So anyway, we meet Mac's uncle, and oh my gosh, he's gay too.
I was the, funny one, It's the reason I never got married. Not something we talked about back then, but...
I love this concept. The way they play it out is a little complicated for me. People were upset when I said that I didn't really believe Mac's interpretive dance in Mac Finds His Pride. I thought it was too serious of a move for Mac. I felt it clashed tonally with the rest of the show and who we know his character to be. But a lot of people really loved seeing some depth to Mac and liked that the show could explore different sides of these characters, which I think is extremely reasonable. But even further than that, a lot of people said they had no issue believing that this is something Mac would do, and I should just, I don't know, stop thinking the way that I think. To those people, I just want to confirm what you're telling me. When you watch these two scenes side by side, you don't sense any discrepancy in this character's internal logic and motivations. This is just the same character, the guy who did this to try to get acceptance from an older male family member.
I'm gay.
Is also doing this.
Hey, if you ever want to, hang out, we could throw the old football around.
I don't really like playing football. It's kind of for jocks.
That's all he ever talks about,
No,
is
it's like-
wanting to have a catch with his
No,
dad.
'cause
And before you start, yes, I get that that's the joke. I do understand irony. He should be doing one thing, so it's funny he's doing the other thing. I got it. Gotcha. Loud and clear. But is it funny enough to justify breaking your immersion? Is this bit roll on the floor hilarious enough to make you look past the fact that it doesn't make that much sense? And just, by the way, my problem is less with how Mac acts in this episode and more with how they set themselves up for this clash. I honestly think it makes sense for them to backpedal a little with this. It would feel more out of place if Mac had a sincere heart-to-heart with his gay uncle here, and I think even Charlie's call-out of Mac's behavior is one of the funnier bits of the episode.
This is so annoying. I mean, you're gonna take time out of my day and you have everything you've ever dreamed of right here, but we're gonna just blow right past it,
It's probably time to go, huh?
But the point I'm trying to make with all this is I think the show kind of recognizing this sort of backs up my point about Mac finds his pride. Like, it was weirdly serious and it does conflict with his normal behavior. At the very least, it was something fun to explore, and I think it's sort of revealing in terms of how they might be trying to bring Mac's character back to normalcy, at least normal for the gang. This is not all to say, by the way, that you're not allowed to like Mac finds his pride. I got one really, really good thoughtful comment about it where someone said, like, as an Always Sunny episode, it sucks. As a piece of queer media, it does great. And I think that's the best reading of Mac Finds His Pride that I've seen, and one that I definitely agree with. I'm gonna say that this is a little bit of a regrounding moment. I think they're kind of reckoning with what they've set themselves up for here and finding a way to work around it that's more in line with the typical tone of the show. You get what I'm saying. I'm putting it up. I'm gonna put this right on the uncle. Back to Dennis, Dee, and Frank, and they made it to the beach. And this is the best part of their plot this episode.
Perfect day can't last forever. I know why we're here. Here.
Oh, gosh. Wow. I gotta say, this went so much more smoothly.
Yeah, it really did.
Just do it when I'm looking out at the ocean.
They finally heighten the Frank is a dog bit to the most extreme conclusion, putting him down. This is hilarious. The misunderstanding of what's happening between Frank and the twins is such a fun setup for the scene, and some of the more clever writing I've seen from them in a little while. They used to do this kind of thing all the time, like the setup where they both think they're talking about the same thing, but they're talking about two very different things. It reminds me of the one Charlie's talking about making cream pies.
I like cream pies as much as the next guy.
Oh, don't say it out loud.
Oh, okay. Let me make a cream pie for you, okay? Then you can try it. See what you think.
I do not want to taste your cream pie.
They taste great. I can guarantee it.
You've tasted yours?
Of course I have. Haven't you?
No. I've tasted mine. I didn't like it.
I've tasted mine, yeah.
I liked mine.
That's clever. That's a setup and a punchline. I enjoy it. All of that combined with how completely chill Frank is with getting shot in the back of the head, and a truly stellar performance, as always, from Danny DeVito.
Well, you know what? I think I'm gonna run, and then you do what you have to do. But if you shoot me in the leg, come over and finish me off, because I don't want to lay there and suffer.
Genuinely great scene. Bravo. Bravo. So then Mac, Charlie, and the moms arrive at Charlie's sister's house, and oh my lord.
Candy, buddy!
Candy! God, Mom, what are you doing here?
We just wanted to draw.
Oh, you're watching Dirk Rub.
Oh, yeah, hi, nice to
Shut up, fag.
Huh? I genuinely don't know what to make of this, still. I like that Mac calls it out.
Why'd you bring your fag friend? Yeah, why is Mac here?
This is so distasteful.
It's one of his better moments this episode. I don't know why they had to come out swinging like that. Like, it's shocking. We do know that they're supposed to be the worst, so yeah. Like, was all of that necessary? I don't know. Like, I've watched this episode 3 times now to write this, and every time it catches me off guard, still. It's just, like, a lot. I don't know. Charlie's sisters have apparently been using the giant jar of teeth to do ASMR on OnlyFans, which is where they got all the money to afford this giant house they're living in. Interesting. ASMR is like a new-ish trend, so I definitely get using it for satire here. It is kind of thrown in though, like it's just kind of like a throwaway funny joke line. I feel like there could have been a really fun opportunity for the gang to try ASMR as a get-rich-quick scheme, and being really bad at it, like when Dennis and Dee try to do the podcast.
Inaugural podcast. We're talking technology today, the big T.
Absolutely. Everyone's talking about technology these these days because it's everywhere.
Oh, it is. You can't escape it.
You absolutely can. So, Dee, tell us what you feel about technology. What's your opinion on it?
Dead air.
Just seems like it's not the best possible use for this concept that I think could be used really, really well for these characters. But I don't hate it at all. That's like a minor complaint. If anything, it maybe comes off a little bit kids these days with their athleisure and OnlyFans and calling people slurs. Mac's mom interrupts this warm family reunion to alert the group that she has clogged the toilet.
There was no TP. If there was no TP, what did you wipe with? The letters.
Okay, I really just, I don't know what to do with any of this. Charlie steals a vase and says he's gonna fill it with his teeth and start a new family heirloom, and the gang all reconvenes at the bar. Dennis complains more that Frank handles his gun like a lunatic, and this happens.
You gonna be crybabies about it? All right, take my gun.
Well, there you have it, Frank. You've officially shot everyone in the bar.
And that's the end of the episode. I can't help but feel like I was baited. Like, Frank shooting every member of the gang was the smallest part of the episode. I feel like that concept had so much potential, and it kind of went nowhere. Charlie and Mac's whole legacy plot doesn't really relate at all to Frank's dog and gun plot, other than, I guess, Dee and Dennis wanting his money after he dies. But that never really ties in with the gun, and there's just kind of a lot of nothing going on here at the same time. It's not my favorite. These two first episodes premiered back-to-back on the same night to open the season, and I won't lie, it definitely left me with a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. I was not too hopeful for the rest of the season, but I could still recognize that there were notable improvements. But I really think these two episodes being the tone setters for the season were part of the reason this took me so long to rewatch. But still, we push on with hope and with caution. The gang gets cursed. We open on Mac excitedly telling the others that Patty's has been selected for a reality show called Bar Rescue, and their luck is about to turn.
Things are about to change here at Patty's Pub because our luck just turned around.
After the theme song, Charlie is trying to clean the bar while Mac is trying to dirty the bar so that the reality TV show people can clean it.
But Charlie, why am I seeing so many silverfish?
I don't know where they're coming from, man. I cannot get rid of them.
I truly was screaming and crying and shitting myself and shaking at this line because I, too, had a silverfish problem in my apartment. It's fixed now. I found out they hate cedar oil, and lucky for me, I'm a complete weirdo who's made liking pine trees half of my personality. Essential oils, incense. I had this like burning bundle of cedar and I broke it apart and put the branches on my bathroom windowsill like some kind of Old Testament warding ritual. And I haven't seen any since. I'm claiming that it worked. I also got a guy to come and spray bug stuff everywhere, but I choose to believe that it was my witchery. I swore also, I said shit. Anyway, Dennis takes issue with the silverfish, and this happens.
Okay, I want to look good for the people watching in there. And
And then this.
We have a problem, but whatever you do, don't laugh.
And then this.
Very funny.
Okay, Dee's face is getting a little close to the Super Bowl pink eye bit for comfort. I'm hoping they turn this around and not have it be her entire plot for the episode. On a more nitpicky note, cause you know I have to go there. There are a lot of music choices and sound effects this season that, in my opinion, kind of diffuse the moments they're supposed to emphasize.
And
Very funny.
I don't mind this one too much, but it's just something to keep an eye on because it'll happen in bigger ways later on. As the son of an OCD icon and a general believer of the supernatural, Charlie's steps were right up to offer his expertise.
No. This is bad, dude. This is the kind of stuff that starts happening when someone's put a curse on you.
Charlie Witchy King. I love that he gets to take the lead on this. Points for surrealism. He asks if any of them have done anything to get themselves cursed, and we get this Dee flashback.
Yes!
Love Dee playing video games, because we established this in Charlie Rules the World.
Dee, are you sick?
No, I feel great. Oh, I haven't had a chance to shower for a few days. I've been gaming like a loon.
I like that we're using traits we already know about these characters to establish story beats. Props. Didn't quite reach, but close enough.
What the? Thank God Dee door down. What? Yeah. What? Are you trying to break my door down at 3 in the morning?
I just wanted to kindly ask if you could keep the noise down.
Hey, I have something for you also. It's a trophy. See, it says Cunt of the Year. That's you.
You are a nasty woman, and bad things are going to happen to you one day.
Ruth Handler? Ruth Handler, indeed. Great joke, Mary. This is sick holiday version editor Mary, here to chime in and say that I've been informed that this actress, Rhea Perlman, is also Danny DeVito's wife. So that is both cute and fun, and nobody needs to inform me. I've been made aware, and that's a painting I did of my dog in middle school or high school. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, I was nervous about this at first because what? Why would she have that? But we find out pretty much immediately that the rest of the gang gave it to her as sort of a gag gift, which I actually really like, and in any case, this is just a golden reaction image, so well done there. My one complaint here is that I think they've gotten a little bit too reliant on the swearing in recent seasons. I'm gonna watch how I talk about this because I'm not supposed to swear in this section. And don't get me wrong, the swearing is funny, but I feel like the sunny vernacular thrived more when they had a tighter leash and had to talk around certain things. The example that comes to mind for me is the whole Mac sweaty hog conversation.
That's a body that just won't quit.
This won't quit?
He ain't gonna quit.
See, I bet you if you pop those jeans off, you're gonna find a sweaty hog that won't quit either. Come on.
He could have said dick, but sweaty hog is fucking incredible. I just said I wasn't gonna swear. Anyway, I think the of the year trophy is funny, don't get me wrong, but I just can't help but wonder what kind of iconic, memorable, weirdo insult they may have passed up on now that they're allowed to just say her. You know what I mean? So then we find out that Frank might be cursed because he killed a seabird in the bar, and I actually like the excessive swearing here, but I think it's really in Frank's delivery. Again though, notice the music here. I do feel like it's hurting rather than helping, in my humble opinion.
Goddamn and die, you fucking seagull bitch! Fucking cunt!
Okay, whatever, I'm doing it. It's too funny. Die, you fucking bird bitch! And finally, we find out how Mac got cursed.
Nobody is cursed.
Oh, really, Mac? Because I straight up heard Cricket curse you yesterday.
Hey, Mac. A curse on you. Vos omnes maledictevi neanis.
First of all, this is the witchy kind of Catholicism I can get behind. Go watch my witch video for more information. Second of all, hooray for Cricket! Hooray for side characters! Cricket, Cricket. We're looking pretty good on the Mary system so far. I mean, look at these strings. Don't say I never made a cogent point in that first video. Come on now. Charlie advises the gang on how to remedy their curses, but wait a minute, because here comes a bombshell.
D, Mac, go make your apologies.
I will do nothing of the sort. In fact, I'm done listening to this. It's irritating, anti-God.
We did it! We did it, Joe! We're free! USA! USA! Is that Mac I see? Are you telling me Mac can be gay and still Mac? Good work, team. We did it. Mac is back. Alright. Then Dennis asks Charlie how he knows so much about this stuff, and he explains.
And why do you do it? You do it just in case. Just in case it's real, right? And just in case is as good a reason to believe in anything as any.
Wait a minute. Charlie OCD King? This episode is giving me superstitious realness. So Dennis and Dee go to apologize to Dee's neighbor and get the trophy back.
I looked it up, but first you gotta apologize to your neighbor.
Yeah, just in case.
Huh? Just in case? No, I don't believe in that bullshit, no. She's got the trophy. I want to get the trophy back. You had no right to give that to her.
I like that they made the distinction in Dennis's motivation here. It creates a nice sort of tension with not wanting to believe Charlie's superstitions and sets up a game we can play. How far do things need to go before Dennis admits he's doing things just in case? Now let's just hope they follow through on it. So then Ruth Handler is a witch, maybe?
Uh-oh. Whoa, did you see that?
Beyond iconic.
Listen, do you have a cat? Because I think I just saw one run out of your apartment.
A cat?
Yeah, a little black cat.
I had a little black cat. Her name was Maureen. But she's been dead for years.
And we get a little callback to Maureen Ponderosa, who is Dennis's ex-wife who wanted to become a cat and who Dennis may or may not have killed.
No. If you want to get more nipples, please, get more nipples. Get 1,000 nipples. The more nipples, the better, Maureen. And you know what? While we're at it, I'm going to turn myself into a dog with 1,000 teeth. Oh, does that make you nervous? I find that offensive, because a dog is who I am now.
Now, due to the nature of this call, we decided to bring him in for questioning.
I'm kind of confused as to whether this cat was Maureen's ghost or like what's going on, but I like the callback. It's fun. Cut to Mac and Cricket in a van staking out Chase Utley's hotel.
Sure about this, Cricket?
Yeah, I'm sure about it, man. I've been greasing the doorman of this building for years. Chase Utley's back in town. He's coming out of his apartment any second now.
There's a long-running bit, once again, that Mac basically wants Chase Utley to be his dad.
What is in this letter?
That's none of your business, all right? Just get it to Chase.
That sounds good.
Pal
I'm
around.
gonna read it.
Yeah, read it.
Dear Chase, oh shit, there's stickers.
Yeah.
My God. Dear Chase, I feel like I can call you Chase because you and me are so much alike. Really. I would love to meet you someday. It would be great to have a catch. I know I can't throw as fast as you, but I think you would be impressed with my speed. I love your hair. You run fast. Did you have a good relationship with your father? Me neither.
Again, love the callback. Glad we're acknowledging that these are the same characters that they've always been. But I guess I'm not really sure why this is happening right now. Or like what it has to do with the curse story. We also get some more Mac Catholicism and he reveals what he believes to be a new good luck charm.
All right, Dominus Spiritus Sanctum, okay? You're off.
What was that?
I was lifting the curse that I put on you.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't believe in curses. Yeah, that's anti-God, and God is the reason that all things happen. And speaking of things that happen, I gotta show you something. This.
What? What is that?
It's a monkey paw.
I was on the fence about this at first because on the one hand, we're getting real surreal with it. But on the other hand, like where in Philadelphia is he finding a monkey paw? And you know, I'm not being a hyper realist. I don't want to be the nitpicky bitch that like whines so much about realism. Whatever CJDX said.
I ain't talking about like plot holes or continuity. I'm not one of those bitches that whine so loudly about realism in movies that I'm talking over the art part of it. However, internal logic can sell things that are difficult to sell.
But there's an explanation that comes later that I think is actually really clever, and I won't spoil it yet. But rest assured, the monkey paw does actually kind of make sense. Swore. Then Chase Utley arrives, and it's a fun payoff to a series-long bit that we finally get to see him interact with Mac. Again, though, I was just confused as to why it's happening here from a writing standpoint. Also, I don't want to be mean, but Rob's acting here is a little confusing.
Hear that, Mac?
Yes!
I thought Mac was a little kid.
Yes, there's a child. A child born unto me. Little Mac.
What?
He's Little Mac, I'm Big Mac, and you shall have a catch with him. Your boy is sick. He's very sick. He's dying. He's got leukemia, and you shall have a catch with him.
He's trying to do this sort of jumbled, nervous Shakespearean thing that's way more of a dentist tick and just doesn't really feel like Mac at all. It comes out of nowhere and is gone as quickly as it came. He's just never done anything like this before. It's just an odd choice. It was weird. I don't know. Charlie arrives at his mom's house where they're celebrating his Uncle Jack's birthday, which, again, is kind of just thrown in here. I don't know.
Oh, Charlie, I didn't think you could make it.
I'm glad for the side characters. I just want them to be utilized to the fullest, you know what I mean? Not just cameoed as like a, look, they still exist. But I will take whatever I can get. So Charlie consults his mom on sailor curses.
They say that a sailor spirit lives on in the gulls, and if you kill a gull, the sailor can hunt you for the rest of its life.
Well, is there anything we can do, or like...
Well, you could slit Frank's throat with a horn of a goat and drink a bowl of his blood.
This is funny, sure, but it's not really something Charlie's mom should be this excited about. She's sensitive, you know? She's scared of driving on the highway. Again, I don't mean to nitpick, it's little things like this and Mac's weird speaking style in the last scene that just start to kind of chip away at the quality here overall. None of this is like a make or break for the episode. It's just these little kinks that I think could just be ironed out and it would just put it a whole nother step above. It's not any one of these things, it's the sum of them that makes me question the direction, you know? Anyway, the better option is to give the seagull a proper burial because Frank just kicked it under a booth because he didn't want to clean it up.
Yeah, that one, Mom, that one. Why didn't you lead off with that one in the first place?
Well, sometimes you're at sea, Charlie, and you wouldn't have that option.
Do I look like I'm at sea, Mom?
I don't know.
You don't know if I'm at sea?
You don't know if I'm at sea? Charlie never fails to absolutely devour. Excellent, excellent work. Back to the bar. Dennis finds Maureen's urn so he can bury it in a pet cemetery.
You refused your wife's dying wishes to be buried in a pet cemetery. Why would you do that?
Because she's not a cat.
Yeah.
And Dennis sort of reluctantly agrees that this may be the reason he's cursed.
Yeah, but dude, like that's the exact kind of thing that can lead to a curse.
Yeah. I know. Yes. Okay, I get that now.
Sort of adding to that setup I mentioned earlier about whether Dennis really believes in the curse or not. Mac and Cricket enter with this guy who's gonna pose as Mac's sick son to have a catch with Chase Utley, and he's like Cricket's street rat protege / prostitute, and this guy completely steals the show.
You're so upset about it. You said get a kid. I mean, his name on the street is literally Kid. That's what he goes by.
A grown man.
I can be whatever you want me to be, champ. I'll make your dreams come true.
What the hell is this?
I believe that Cricket is now a pimp and that was his boy slot.
That's oversimplifying it, but that's it in a nutshell.
No, we got that.
I have not laughed this hard at an exchange in Sunny in a while. It's so nonchalant. It's perfect. Although, for what it's worth, I would thoroughly appreciate never hearing Rob McElhenney say
boy slot
ever again. Thank you for your consideration. Mac explains that he figured since his luck has turned around, since he found the monkey paw, he thought this would be his chance to finally have a catch with Chase Utley. That's fine, but doesn't this feel kind of out of order? I feel like we should have known this plan going into the last Utley scene. And then this whole plot with the guy posing as Mac's son could have been a bigger scheme. I feel like the whole scheme thing was such a standard formula for Sunny for so long that now they're trying to avoid it like the plague, mostly showing things off screen or resolving plans as quickly as possible. I get that they're probably tired of it and trying to switch it up, but man, do I miss the schemes. They were just really a staple of the show for a long time, and I just kind of wish they'd lean back into that. Just my 2 cents. Anyway, we finally get the reveal of where the monkey paw came from.
Well, actually, it wasn't just a paw. It was a whole monkey. Monkey in the bar, right? Totally random.
Well, that's not random at all. Well, that's probably the monkey that worked here.
It's behind the kegs?
Well, actually, I found him by the office, but I kicked him behind the kegs because I didn't feel like cleaning him up.
Oh, he is decomposing, and there's also a shit ton of mold back there.
I don't know how I missed that.
It was the monkey from The Gang Replaces D with a Monkey. A callback! Continuity! Bravo. Bravo, gents. Round of applause. And Mac kicked the monkey's body behind the kegs because he didn't feel like cleaning it up. A game with Frank kicking the seagull under a booth. Well played. Like, this is what I'm looking for. Do you see how this took multiple scenes to establish, callbacks to an earlier season, ties disparate plot threads together with a joke? It's clever. It makes the gears in your brain turn. That's what I'm looking for. Anyway, in the last 5 minutes, Charlie comes up with a scheme to solve all of their problems at once.
Hey, I got a new fix, all right? I got a new fix for everything. We're gonna take your wife, the gull, and what's left of the monkey. We're gonna bury them all in a pet cemetery. And Mac, you are gonna have a catch with Chase Utley, but not with your dying son.
Why not?
Because he's already dead.
Do you see what I mean about the schemes? I love this. I love a plan. I wish these were still the biggest part of the episode. Doesn't this whole episode kind of feel like preamble to this point and now the plot is starting? That's how it feels to me. I may be alone in that, and that's okay. So, cut to the pet cemetery where Mac and Chase Utley have a heart-to-heart.
Look, I know you're gonna think that this is crazy, but I found this monkey paw, and it's brought me really good luck. And I know that you don't think superstitions are real. And
Not real. Of course they're real. What they believe influences their actions. But actions do have consequences. Like lying, Mac. Why don't you hand over that monkey paw?
Is this Charlie's Home Alone Part 3? I can't help but feel like we have kind of already tread the ground of sports superstitions, no? Maybe I'm just a hater, because sports, and I don't care. Anyway, Chase Utley runs off with the monkey paw.
I'm really sorry, man. I think...
Hall of Fame, baby, here I come!
Bit of a squandered payoff to the Chase Utley bit, in my opinion. He didn't really get to do much. The gang comes over having just buried Maureen, and Dennis reveals that the monkey's molding, decomposing body in the bar was actually the source of their woes.
Temporary facial paralysis and brain fog are all symptoms of exposure to high levels of mold.
But that might also explain the silverfish.
Yeah, no, it does. Actually, it does. They eat mold.
And what about my egg?
Well, is it possible, Frank, that egg was a seagull egg?
We found some eggs. And
I
you
might
might
have
have mixed them up. Because we had store eggs and we had found eggs.
I love that Charlie and Frank were foraging for eggs together. Very on brand. In fact, that's wacky home life. So there was no curse after all, and Dennis completes his very subtle arc about whether he believes or not.
There is no curse. Okay, Mac, no, you were never lucky. Okay, you just bombarded them both with mail, and you stalked Chase Utley for years. We're not unlucky. Okay, we're just the type of...
A subtle arc, but an arc nonetheless. We love to see it. Mac gets an email that the reality show people arrived at Patty's and no one was there, so they left. Then Cricket rolls up and asks about his luck.
What about me? What about my luck?
I don't know, Crix. I guess there's no real explanation as to why bad things would happen to you.
Now, if you're a Sunny fan, you already know that the bit with Cricket is that the gang continues to ruin his life with their actions, directly or indirectly, but they never recognize it. And we get to play that game here with a nice little button to the episode. Nice! I don't know about this one. Again, there are highs and lows. It still feels like there's a lot of stuff kind of thrown in and not utilized or elaborated on. A lot of these episodes feel like they have way too much going on that doesn't really go anywhere, or not enough going on that also doesn't go anywhere. I think this is because the third act sort of wrap-up scenes of all the different themes and plots in each episode haven't been the strongest so far. This one may be the best at it so far. Certainly, there were some great moments, but again, it's not one of my faves. But it's definitely an improvement from last season, and I mean, look at all those pins. Can't argue with that. That's science. Frank versus Russia. Frank versus Russia starts in media res, if you will, with Charlie waking up Frank and frantically bringing him into a chess competition.
Listen to me. Please back off. Frank, you are ready. Everything you need is already inside you.
After the theme song, we jump back in time to find out how we got here. Mac and Dennis arrive at Patty's talking about a guy, a love interest for Mac.
No!
Please, pretty please, just help me, please.
No! No, Mac. I'm not helping you, okay? Stop talking to me about Johnny.
Yet again, my suggestions from my last video are being checked off one by one. Coincidence or TV genius? However, I am not going to put a pin for Mac love interest because it was too good to be true. You'll see in a second. D-Flex is on the gang that she too has a guy in her life.
Well, hey, I could help you with your guy troubles.
No thanks, D. You suck with men.
Tell that to the guy leaving my apartment this morning.
Then Charlie rushes in wearing his America garb, and I wrote my first note for the episode, Charlie patriotism yes.
Dennis, I need your help really quick, man.
No!
Always Sunny fans already know this, but Charlie's love of America is a great running bit.
Okay, I'm gonna rise up, gonna kick a little ass, gonna kick some ass in the USA, gonna climb a mountain, gonna soar a flag, gonna fly on an eagle, I'm gonna kick some butt, I'm gonna drive a big truck, I'm gonna rule this world, I'm gonna kick some ass, I'm gonna rise up, I'm gonna kick a little ass, rock, flag, and eagle.
And putting him in this outfit acts as the perfect shorthand to the audience for his motivation for the episode. It's really smart and well done. It reminds me of the postmodern era. They're using classic bits of the show as a shorthand to motivate new schemes. Good work, good work. Charlie is looking for a restaurant buzzer he stole and claims it's a matter of security. While he's searching, Mac asks Frank for advice and we get this exchange.
Frank, let me check the back office.
Hey, Frank, could you help me with something?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? You want Frank's help with your guy troubles? He's insanely homophobic.
Not anymore. No, once Mac did the dance, then I get it. I get the gay thing.
He gets it. He's an ally now.
I love that Dee wants to be all Sex in the City with Mac. Reminds me of Who Pooped the Bed.
Well, there's a new martini bar opening up downtown. I thought maybe we could do something different tonight.
Jesus, where is this shit coming from?
I should just watch that stupid Sex in the City movie.
Oh my God, when will that show die?
Never, apparently. D, you tried this shit 30 years ago when that show first came on the air. Nobody wants to play Sex in the City with you.
And it's something we haven't really seen yet with Mac being out that I think is a really fun idea to explore. It's a different dynamic between Dee and Mac that we've never seen, and I just think it could be really fun. And I also love the reference to Mac finds his pride. I like how they're almost making fun of themselves here. It incorporates what I felt to be the most disparate part of that episode and integrates it back into the canon. Good smoothing work. I'm calling that regrounding. I'm also adding a character traits for story beats for Charlie being patriotic. This one's a little too long. So then Mac explains his relationship troubles to Frank.
I want to take it to the next level, you know, by actually meeting this guy.
Well, you never met the guy?
It's not weird, because we're in constant communication through the beads.
The beads?
Oh, yes, the extra-large anal beads that I shoved up my butt. And Johnny can control them via an app on his phone. And when I feel the buzz, I know it's time to go to the motel and wait. Yes, he's never actually showed up before, but one day he will, and it's going to be hot.
Did Did we have to really specify extra large? Holding back the urge to call this out as a weird ha-ha point and look at the gay guy gross out joke. I know the comments don't like that. Giving the benefit of the doubt, deep breathe in, release it. Pushing forward. Charlie returns back to his mother's house for the 3rd episode in a row, mind you. Uncle Jack is there too, and we finally find out Charlie and Frank's plan.
So I need the glasses, Uncle Jack, because Frank's got to be able to transmit me the board while I play along on a computer and I signal him the moves with the restaurant buzzer.
Okay, so this is based on a real thing that happened. I didn't know that until after I watched this episode for the first time, and it made it make a lot more sense. An actual US chess player was accused of cheating in a chess tournament with this kind of vibration hint thing. But it wasn't a restaurant buzzer. If you don't see where this is going yet, just wait. The episode will get there. But keep in mind that this is an actual absurd news story. That's really fun. And you know what else it is? It's satire. USA. USA. So Uncle Jack rolls up to the chess tournament registration to help Charlie.
Uncle Jack, what is this?
My ice cream truck. You know, I have like a side business.
Here's how this goes. Frank, you got the buzzer?
Yeah, I got the buzzer.
All right, so Frank's got a buzzer in his pocket,
I'll put it
okay?
in my
So
pocket.
he'll hover his hand over the piece, you know, 1 buzz for yes, 2 buzzes for no.
Okay.
You clear?
Yep.
Give me a push pop, will you? And get him a push pop.
What? Oh, no, I don't have any ice cream.
Okay, we're gonna talk about it. Trigger warning for everything. Uncle Jack being a pedophile is the whole bit of the character, and they've been seeing how far they can push that for years at this point. So this is no surprise. But I wrote a note here that I think is kind of interesting. I wrote, should I address this? And in hindsight, I can't really remember what I was grappling with here in terms of addressing Uncle Jack or not. In terms of satire and pushing things to their limit and how far is too far, I think I might have felt in the moment that my being okay with Uncle Jack as a character might be hypocritical to my views about how gay Mac is treated. But thinking about it now, I don't really think that's true. Uncle Jack is a weirdo, and everyone knows he's a weirdo. And the joke is that he's a weirdo, right? He's always the butt of the joke, and rightfully so. I don't think it's controversial to say that his behavior is bad. At least I would hope not, but with some of these comments, you just never know. But his behavior is bad, pedophilia is bad, and as a result, the show and its characters treat him badly. Coming from this pretty baseline, agreeable statement, I think my thoughts on Gay Mac are actually a little easier to explain. The main rebuttal that I get for my discomfort with how the gang treats Mac after he comes out is that they aren't making fun of Mac because he's gay, they're making fun of him because he's weird. He happens to be a very weird gay man. I sort of already talked about this, I'm gonna try not to belabor it, but just to reiterate, because this was really a sticking point for people, I think that this sexual deviancy only really popped up as a character trait for Mac after he came out as gay. But what's highlighted to me here, by comparing the treatment of gay Mac to Uncle Jack, is that their respective bits follow a very similar structure. Uncle Jack shows up, says something either overtly creepy or just implies creepiness, and Charlie or the other characters berate him and say he's gross.
Boom! I took your little castle-y thing.
Suck on that, boy!
If he does, let me get another screen grab.
Shut up, dude. That's gross, man.
Meanwhile, Mac shows up and says something overtly gay because he's out now, and the gang berates him and says he's gross?
Yes, he's never actually showed up before, but one day he will, and it's going to be hot.
That's it. I'm out. I'm out. That's it. I don't get it. I am never gonna get it. Beads? You never said anything about beads.
Let me explain it again. It's
What
beads that go into my ass.
The dance never said anything about no beads.
The gang is meant to be full of horrible people, right? That's the thesis of the show. But even they know Uncle Jack is weird and they don't support him. There's sort of a line drawn here that if there's one type of person the gang can claim moral superiority to, it's pedophiles. Which is interesting, right? But then you step back and you see the pattern between how the gang treats Uncle Jack and how the gang treats Mac after his coming out. And it's weird, I think. The ice cream truck and the extra large beads are both serving the same purpose here. What's the most outlandish thing these two characters could do to demonstrate their respective deviant lifestyles? That is weird. I don't think I'm making up the fact that the gang is punching down at gay Mac. I just don't. If we're breaking with the gang being the worst people imaginable so that they can dunk on pedophiles, I think we can break in the other way too so that they aren't dunking on gay people all the time. And I don't think think that's an absurd critique to make. You are free to disagree, but after the barrage of comments trying to talk me out of this, seeing the similarities between Uncle Jack and Mac in this episode revealed this idea to me in a new way, and yeah, I think I stand by it. It is weird. It's better this season, but it's still weird. And no, I am not accusing the creators of Always Sunny of conflating gay people and pedophiles. That is very clearly not what I am saying. But I also don't think it's like overly woke 1984 censorship thought police of me to ask that they take the care to make sure that the text of the show is not inadvertently conflating the two. That's all. Back to the episode. Can you see what this is doing to my brain? Shake it off. Shake it off. 1989 Taylor's version. Charlie helps Frank cheat at the chess tournament, and once again, Charlie absolutely devours every single scene he's ever been a part of.
Sir, may I have a word with you?
Absolutely not, because I'm in the middle of watching a game of chess.
There is no alcohol allowed on the premises.
What? What do you mean? Like I gotta drink wine or something?
Then, in the Dennis D. Mac plot, Dennis uses a reverse Dennis system to teach them how to seduce men. I like that. Good callback. I like the idea of Dennis being supportive and even helpful to Mac's search for love.
And there you have it. That, my friends, is the SIND system.
It's not as clean as the Dennis system.
Yeah, well, yeah, but listen, the Dennis system, that's a system for getting a woman. This is a system for getting a man, and that's why SIND is actually Dennis backwards.
Oh my God.
And it's fun to see this dynamic with him and with Dee, which we've never really seen before. Max may be a bit too slow on the uptake for my liking.
What are the odds, though?
Wow.
What do you mean, the odds of what?
What are the odds that the steps to the system would be Dennis backwards and that they would spell out the word sinned?
Hi! Hi, because I made it up.
Oh!
But yeah. So Dee and Mac return from their successful second dates and give Dennis the deets.
All right, so talk to me. One of those second dates.
Ooh, yeah, no, that's not happening.
What do you mean that's not happening?
Well, I got home last night and I found myself real horny, so I popped a couple of Mommy's magic beans and headed over to Kyle's house. Roofies. I roofied myself.
Why would Dee roofie herself? Is this a thing that I'm not privy to? Is that a thing people do? The roofies come into play in the end game of this episode, and I feel like this was kind of forced in here to explain where they got the roofies from.
And you?
Oh, I'm not doing it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have a good reason, Dennis. I have a really good reason, because I'm not a rapist and a thief like Dee is. I'm just a boy in love.
I'm just a boy in love. La 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 lovey-dove. I can't be held responsible for my actions.
Then Dennis reveals that he is in fact Johnny.
I invented Johnny as a means of getting you out of the apartment when you were irritating me.
I don't understand.
Weird. This is weird. I do not like it. And that is my opinion. And again, Mac is ridiculously slow on the uptake. He's way too dumb.
And I said, oh my God, what a coincidence, because they're Johnny's favorite too.
Yeah, because I am Johnny.
Then who's Dennis?
What do you mean?
Well, if you're Johnny, then who's you?
I don't find it funny, and that's what I think. And I'm sticking to it. You're allowed to disagree with me, but you will not sway me, and you need not try. Finally, the gang puts these plans together by roofing Frank and putting the beads, you know where, to act as the restaurant buzzer so he can cheat in the chess tournament, which is where we started the episode.
You are ready. Everything you need is already inside you.
I don't know. It's fine. For my taste, Dennis is way too into it, and Frank hates it way too much for me to find it funny. It feels weird, it feels sadistic, it feels eyes and nails, Wattpad fan fiction-y. It's not for me, and if it's for you, that's fine, but it's not for me. Let's move on.
Clap if you care. All right, let's move on.
Another one. Celebrity Booze, the ultimate cash grab. Did I ever tell you guys that I freaking love Breaking Bad? It feels like it goes without saying for a TV enjoyer, right? I have some hot takes, but disliking Breaking Bad is not one of them. Among my greatest impressions is Jesse Pinkman. Bitch. And in terms of celebrity lookalikes, when I'm not being called Girl Shaggy or Bo Burnham in a wig, I'm Skylar White, yo.
My husband is Walter White, yo.
So I would say Breaking Bad is pretty near and dear to my heart. Breaking Bad memes are also among my favorite content on the internet.
Jesse! Jesse! Jesse, wake up! Jesse! Jesse!
I love it. So I was primed to absolutely adore this episode featuring Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul making fun of their alcohol brand. I had high hopes. Whoa. Jump scare. I'm sorry. Let's just get into it. Whoa! Very special haircut edition. Editor Mary here to say that I somehow forgot to mention that Charlie, Rob, and Glenn also made their own whiskey brand, celebrity whiskey brand, called Four Walls. I forgot to mention it here, but you'll see in the next section, I got a bottle of it. So, I'm aware that this is also a satire of their own alcohol brand. Yeah. Thank you.
How does it feel to be the kingpin of mezcal?
Oh, no. Don't put that on me. No, I'm just a simple actor. This is the man, the brains behind the whole operation.
No. It's a team effort.
Love how we're playing with their roles as celebrity characters in contrast with their roles on Breaking Bad. Very fun. I'm just a simple actor is incredible. I also just love these two guys, so anything they do in this episode I'm gonna be pretty endeared by. Have you ever seen those TikToks of people like running into them at a liquor store? What I would not give. I love these silly men. Anyways, good concept.
Yeah, is there an opportunity for us to create a booze of our own, right? And go pitch those guys? Yeah, of course there is.
It'd be so easy.
It would be so easy, you know? And could we do something like that? Also, yes, absolutely.
Of course we could.
But, I mean, are we gonna go do something like that?
Yes, we're gonna do it.
I think we should.
Yeah, we're gonna
I think
do
we
it.
should.
It's already happening.
Possibly my favorite cold open of the season also. They don't belabor it. We know exactly what's happening. Charlie sticking out at the end made me LOL.
Do it. It's already happening.
Solid. So the gang gets to work brainstorming their own Patty's brand alcohol to pitch to the Breaking Bad boys for an endorsement.
What's the first word that comes to your mind when you are trying to describe us?
Premium.
I was gonna say that, dude. I was gonna say premium.
You're gonna say that too? Now, what is the most premium alcohol ever invented?
Goldschlager, yeah.
Goldschlager. All right, hey! We're all on the same page here. This is good.
But here's a pitch. Okay, I can get a bunch of nickels and I can smash them up and put them into a Schlager, right? We call it nickel Schlager and we pitch it as like the working man spirit.
Nickel Schlager is fucking funny. Points on the board.
Let me ask you this. What is the second classiest drink in the world?
Jägermeister.
Jägermeister. Now, I say we do a blend of all the most premium drinks. We put them all together and we make one drink called Patty's Schlager Schnapstermeister.
My notes here say, I would like to try the Patty's Schlager Schnapstermeister. True. So they call Frank so they can pitch him their idea, and Dee is also there in the jet.
Frank, how would you like to invest in a celebrity alcohol brand?
No, I don't know about that. I once had Greg Louganis as the face of my apricot brand, but when he cracked his noggin at the Olympics, the business took a nosedive with him.
Also, there's a bit this whole episode that they don't know Breaking Bad. They only know Bryan Cranston from Malcolm in the Middle, and they mistakenly think Aaron Paul is Malcolm.
Have you ever heard of a little show called Malcolm in the Middle?
Yes, no, maybe. I don't know. You're not the boss of me now. Pure surrealism. I love it. The gang feels really good here dynamic-wise. Like, everyone's right in line. Even when they're just screaming at Dee in a really over-the-top way, her reaction completely sells it.
Sounds pretty glamorous. I'd like to hang with celebs.
Shut up, Dee.
Shut up, Dee. God, shut up, Dee. Shut your mouth or I will shut it for you.
It just feels good here. That's my Sonny. See, this gets a check for Make the Gang Friends Again, because even though they're yelling at Dee, like, that's the dynamic, but they're selling it here and it works for me. Like, I don't think they should never be mean to Dee. It would be weird if they weren't. Also, the whole reason Frank and Dee are on the plane is for like a convoluted tax reason, which is delightful.
What the hell, Frank? Why are we circling Philly?
I gotta put enough miles on a jet to make it look like I went to Aruba and back. It's a tax thing.
Cut to the line at the club, and Charlie is very obviously dressed as a limo driver.
It is popping off in there, man. It is popping off. Actually, Charlie, I would also love for you to pop off that hat.
No, dude, you said dress nice. I want to be able to tip my cap to these guys when I meet them.
Which I kind of wish was more intentional on his part than just wanting to tip his hat to the celebrities. Because it's not just a cap, like, it's very obviously a limo driver outfit. And that's exactly what it's used for later on in the scene. That's completely fine if that's the plot, but there's no, like, big surprise to it. Like, as soon as I saw this outfit, I could already predict that that's what was gonna happen. And Dennis even directly says it.
Yeah, but you look like a limo driver.
So I don't know why they wouldn't just have that be part of the scheme to begin with, rather than like happen randomly by accident, you know? Just a small note, but something I noticed. Also,
you guys want to hit some of this too, by the way?
What the hell is that?
It's nickel Schlager, man. Guys, why is it going off in my stomach?
Because you have a belly full of nickels.
I'll make myself throw up and then I'll get the... Should I throw up here or, All right, I'm gonna go outside and I'll meet you guys back in.
Hell yes to the nickel slogger. I said hell. Do not do that. I'm glad they didn't go in. They stayed right on the top. Don't do that. I also love Mac here.
Oh, I'm going for a Jordan in the 90s look. I mean, who's more premium than MJ, right? Now, I'm thinking that I go pitch a fashion line and sort of expand into a lifestyle brand. Do you know who Michael Jordan is?
Yes, I know who.
Then why are you fighting me
Can we
about
just go
this?
get...
He is macking. This is the type of escalation I've been missing from Sunny. They have a scheme in this episode, and already it's spiraling off in different directions. Very classic Sunny formula. I'm a big fan. Points for Mac being Mac, and for Mac being Mac driving the plot. That's big ups. Then we go back to Frank and Dee on the jet, and I'm starting to fade on this plot already.
Bathroom on the plane is busted.
What?
Yeah, but you can use the emergency can.
Where's the emergency can?
You're sitting on it.
Are you sure you don't have any food anywhere?
Why don't you sniff around back there?
What's this?
What's
There's
that?
a can of something.
Oh, it's an old can of oysters from another flight.
Give them more to do. Nothing that happens here comes back later in any kind of important way linked to the main celebrity booze plot. Old can of oyster gross out. Shitting in a tub gross out. Nothing of substance. Give them their own adventure on the side. Don't just bide your time. I think I'm placeboing myself, but it kind of still tastes like nickels. Back to the pitch. I like the mirroring here between Mac and Dennis's dynamic and Aaron and Brian's dynamic.
And then that's it. I do the talking, and don't say a goddamn thing.
Hey there, fellas.
Hey. Hi. Hello to you, kind sirs. Let's do a... we can't kick this off without a firm handshake. Why don't you just...
I really don't mind shaking his hand.
How many times do we have to go through this? We're not shaking hands.
We're not shaking hands.
We don't know these people.
It's clever. It's fun. I like it. Out to the curb where Charlie's throwing up nickels.
Hey, buddy. Hey, can I ask you something really quick?
Yeah, sure, man. What's up?
Hey, listen, I've been throwing up for a little bit. I actually kind of can't stop. I think I'm having a reaction to the metals. But my real problem is, like, no matter how much I hurl, like, the nickels keep coming out.
Nickels?
Oh, yeah, it's a Schlager play I got going.
And, of course, steals a limo, because obviously.
Happening. Listen, man, I can't help, right?
Oh, my God, I'm so sorry. Peace and love, I'm sorry. Hey,
just stay by my car.
Hey.
Hey, man, are you the Dos Hombres driver?
Who?
You know, the Malcolm in the Middle guys.
Yes, I am.
See, this gross out doesn't bother me in the slightest because it's related to a gag that's already happened and it serves a further purpose to the plot. It's a part of everything. The oysters don't really come up again other than Dee getting sick. What was the point, you know? Also, the guy at the club also refers to Brian and Aaron as the Malcolm in the Middle guys, which means that it's not just the gang that doesn't know Breaking Bad exists, or maybe Breaking Bad doesn't exist in the Sunny universe. Just kind of a funny thing I picked up on, probably not intentional, who knows, I laughed. So back inside, Mac thinks he sees Jalen Hurts, who is a sportsman of sorts. Apparently he's the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm sorry. I'll just note ahead of time that this bit might have just been completely lost on me, because I don't care about sports. I'm sorry. This is my sports. This is... I follow this and Taylor Swift as if it were a sports team. But they think they see Jalen.
We totally blew our one shot. God damn it.
Hey, I think I just saw Jalen Hurts.
And since they weren't able to pitch their booze idea to Aaron and Brian, they decide to pivot to Jalen and follow him into the bathroom. But it's actually some other Philadelphia mascot.
Gritty? Wait, how do you confuse a young black man with a giant orange monster?
I have to side with Dennis here. How could Mac possibly have thought that that was a regular man? And beyond that, what is Gritty doing at this event? It feels extremely random and like, look guys, we got Gritty on the show. I don't know, but you know what? Double props for surrealism. But then a guy comes out of the stall.
Oh, hey, Jalen, there he is, Jalen.
And they think he actually might be Jalen, but they don't know.
What are you talking about? That was not Jalen Hurts.
And I don't know enough about Philadelphia sports to dispute it.
I hate to say it, I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street, I wouldn't know a thing.
Very confusing scene. But, you know, I can acknowledge when I'm not the target audience for something. And this is one of those times. Sports fans, sound off in the comments if this hit for you. So then they get a call from Charlie that he has secured the Malcolm guys in the limo and he's taken them to Frank's jet. And Aaron and Brian, are so good.
Sorry about that. Part of my drive, and I haven't driven a car in a long, long time.
Really gotta start vetting these drivers, okay? We're driving around in these crappy town cars with lunatics, and now we're flying coach.
Counterpoint.
Coach?
I do like the grit.
Incredible. Charlie gets a call from Frank that they've landed, and oh, who could have predicted this? The oysters are bad.
You ate those oysters?
What? You told me to.
That can's from a shellfish company I started with Tony Danza back in the 80s.
Tony's Oysters in a Kanza?
I do like the tie-in with the celebrity products thing. That was at least something. Mac and Dennis rush onto the plane and tell Frank and Dee to leave because they didn't actually get a chance to pitch Aaron and Brian yet, and the energy here is awesome.
Come on, let's go. Out of the cabin.
What? I'm not leaving my plane.
Oh, no. We've had this whole situation where Jalen Hurts felt trapped and he just freaked out and ran away.
It was not Jalen Hurts, okay? It was literally just some black guy.
It was definitely Jalen Hurts.
It was not Jalen.
Let's just go. Let's go. Come on. Get up.
They are absolutely babbling, and it is so Mac Dennis. I'm obsessed. In fact, I'm gonna say this gets points for save Dennis Mac friendship. Aaron and Brian board and give some stellar lines.
This is how to travel. Yeah. Yeah, but I always wonder at whose expense. You know, when I was making my way on the Great White Way, Broadway, oh my God.
Before being interrupted by Frank and Dee and the gang.
But sleep for pussies. Let's party, am I right? Hey guys, I'm Dee.
I didn't know we were sharing the plane.
Hi, I'm Frank, the owner. And you don't have to share the plane. This plane, this pretty little bird, can be yours.
Sorry, actually,
it's a
no,
beautiful
hey guys,
bird.
Don't worry, we're not here to sell you a plane, Frank, please. Okay, we're here to sell you,
a lifestyle and ill-fitting suits.
No, that's also wrong. We're not selling any of that. We're here to sell you a,
Nickelschlager.
No, God damn it!
I love how everyone's plans are clashing with each other, and they're just desperately trying to sell these guys anything. This is perfect. This is what Sonny should always be aiming for, in my opinion. Also, Matt calls out the abusive dynamic between Aaron and Brian, and it's just so refreshing after all the abuse he's taken from Dennis in the past.
Oh, I'm not supposed to.
Oh, come on, man.
I think you're in an abusive relationship.
Okay, this is absolutely...
And then Bryan Cranston just does his thing, and it's amazing. My one issue here again is the background music.
I don't ask for a lot. An Emmy here, Tony there, a little pocket change for the one-armed succubus in Reno. It's never enough for you. You want it all. And you...
In my opinion, this scene would have been just a hair better if it was allowed to be more awkward, and the music kind of diffuses the tension, in my opinion.
You control everything. Or do you? Maybe being the front man of an alcohol business places your head so far out in front of you that you don't even realize.
But anyway, Brian just absolutely eats everybody up here.
Who they gonna come after, huh? The sweet, hapless boob? Or the slick-talking, scheming millennial?
Then the gang finally pitches them to a resounding no.
You guys want to invest?
Boss?
Fuck no.
Fuck no. Fuck no.
This episode was pretty good. It's grown on me more and more every time I've seen it. My major critique here is still just that I wish Dee and Frank had something more to do, but this one is definitely one of my overall favorites this season. Risky Rats, Pizza, and Amusement Center. Okay, this episode centers around a Chuck E. Cheese parody called Risky Rats, and the idea is that this place has been around since Frank was a kid, and they spend the episode making a lot of jokes about how times have changed, how in Frank's day the characters were like racial stereotypes, to the gang's days where the arcade prizes included candy cigarettes and toy guns that were actual recreations of real guns, down to today where everything is soft and sanitized. Boomery bits aside, this whole premise felt a little bit odd to me, so I just wanted to mention it at the top here and just get it out of the way. It seems wrong that Chuck E. Cheese could have already existed when Frank was a kid, right? I did some research, and Danny DeVito was 30 when Chuck E. Cheese was founded. He was born in 1944, and Chuck E. Cheese was established in 1977. Also, as I'm filming this, yesterday was his birthday. Happy birthday, Danny DeVito. Or Golden Boy. Arcades did exist in the 1940s, but they were just like old-timey pinball, you know? Could Frank Reynolds be 30 years older than Danny DeVito? Sure, I guess. Could Risky Rats have been founded 30 years prior to Chuck E. Cheese? Maybe, sure. It just feels like a little bit of a stretch is all I'm trying to say. The other weird thing is that the way these jokes are set up always has Frank being surprised by how the place was different for the gang than it was for him, and, you know, he raised Dennis and Dee. We find out out he's not their biological father, but he raised them. And yeah, he wasn't around a lot, he was more preoccupied with business and stuff, so maybe their mom mostly took them, or maybe they only ever went with friends when it was their birthday party or something. All of these things can be explained, but there's just like a lot of things you have to kind of allow for this to all make sense. And, you know, I wish there could have been stronger workarounds for those things. Like, it seems like an obvious opportunity for some character continuity to at least mention why Frank had never taken them, or if he had, they could have had memories of the place from different perspectives as a kid versus as an adult. So yeah, it's just kind of a weird thing I noticed. Maybe you'll see what I mean as we go here. Anyway, let's get into the episode. The gang is hyped to go to Risky Rats, and they sing the theme song. Charlie's excited because he saw his first boob at Risky Rats.
Totally. Like, that's where I became a man. I saw my first set of boobies at Risky's. Dude, Justine the Teen Dream. She was one of the robots in the animatronic No Rules band.
And Frank asks if they still have corporal punishment.
Do they still have that room where they paddle you if you're out of line?
And then they launch into the theme song again.
Oh, let's keep this on.
Yeah,
crank that shit.
Let's play it again.
And there you have it. That's the setup for the episode. Very passable cold open. So they roll up and start reminiscing about how hands-off parenting was back in the 80s or whatever.
Yeah, remember when the moms would go in the padded bar?
Oh yeah, they'd soundproof
Yeah,
it.
they soundproof it so you couldn't hear it. Oh, and they would get hammered.
And then sneak by the waiver guy. Sneak by the waiver guy. Boom, boom, boom.
There's a bottom section too, okay.
All right, man.
None of them are really, okay.
Frank drinks from a water fountain like an animal. Max splits off to play skee ball.
And then maybe play some skee ball.
Dennis and Charlie go to find the animatronic with the boobs.
I can't get past this whole Justine the Teen Dream thing and this feeling that I just missed out on my childhood. And I'm just wondering if maybe you want to...
Yes, I do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then Dee and Frank are left to go on a scavenger hunt and reminisce about their different memories.
Hey, you want to do the joke hunt?
Yeah, did you have that when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Where you search around for the little pieces of cheese and they have jokes attached?
Yeah, and if you got them all,
Yeah.
you get to meet Risky himself.
And he'd do his whole routine for you.
Where he would smack his kids in the head because they were pieces of shit, and then he would bust his brother because he was a lazy drunk.
Caitlin, as always, is absolutely crushing the delivery.
They had changed it a bit by the 80s. Yeah, I think it was a little bit more highbrow and like topical.
Love it. Good work, Queen. Mac wants a gun, but he can't have one because Gen Z.
We have an orange space laser.
What the hell am I supposed to do with an orange space laser?
I like the Macness. Good Mac. Very Mac. The generational difference jokes throughout this episode are pretty good. I think they're funny, if maybe a little ham-fisted. After the 10th one, it gets a little, okay, haha, kids are soft now. Or I guess maybe it's more that shit was unhinged in the 80s. Shit. Anyway, yeah, I think it's both, maybe. I think we're making fun of how soft things are now, and how, unsoft they were in the 80s, and even more unsofter whenever Frank was a child. Possibly 1914, when Woodrow Wilson was president. I'm sorry. I'm gonna drop it now, I swear. Dennis and Charlie go off to find Justine, and are appalled to find how things have changed.
What's up with the helmet, right? Risky does not wear a helmet. Remember if he would fall and hit his head, he would say,
That's what the bone
That's
was
what
for.
the bone was for, right? And he'd come up, he'd crack you on the back of the head.
Smack you in the back of the head.
That's when things change.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to be that old guy who's like complaining about the way things used to be, but...
I like that they address how these bits lean a little back in my day. I also specifically noted in my little book here how they say smack you on the back of the head.
Right? And he'd come up, he'd crack you on the back of the head.
Smack you in the back of the head.
He'd smack you on the back of the head. That made me laugh. That made me giggle. Then they start trying to tear down the wall. Tear down the wall.
No one looking?
Oh.
Okay. Good. I think you made some headway. Go.
This reminds me a lot of Early Sunny. There was some episode where I think Charlie, Mac, and Dennis, or maybe just Charlie and Dennis, did this same kind of thing, like taking turns throwing themselves against a wall to try to break it down. I can't find it though. I thought it was the Gang Goes Extreme Home Makeover edition, but I scrubbed through that episode and I couldn't find it. Maybe I just missed it. If anyone knows what episode that is, please drop it in the comments. It's been driving me crazy. Editor Mary, back again, no longer sick, feeling great, and I found it. It's from The Gang Solves the North Korea Situation Inflation, which is season 3, episode 6. I'm so happy that I found it. That was driving me nuts. So here it is.
Go! Nice. Good.
Back to Mac, and he's starting beef with a kid. And again, I love how Mac this is.
I'm going for 10,000 tickets.
Oh, yeah? Dude, I got like 7,000.
What? How do you have so many?
I was really good back in the day. Better than you.
Oh.
Things blow up, and this dog comes over to counsel them.
I want my mom.
You're not getting your mom.
Everything okay over here? Looks like someone might need to take a breather.
Off to Dee and Frank on their scavenger hunt. I want to note here how we've got 3 different plots happening. Will they all come together in the end? A girl can dream, right? They talk about how things have changed again, and we get an innovative mozzarella stick bit. See if you can predict where this bit is going.
Got your mozzarella sticks. Please be careful, they're hot.
Are they hot, Dork? Are you trying to tell me that these sticks of molten cheese that just came out of the deep fryer, they're hot? Bye, beat it. Bye, Jesse.
Sorry. There's one. I found it. Look, over there.
Whoa.
Right over there.
Oh my God. Woo.
On under the table.
You wasn't joking.
Was it exactly what you thought was gonna happen? Me too. Did you laugh? Me neither. They can't all be winners. Anyway, this duck wanders over and they talk more about censorship, I guess.
Hey, guys, you having a good time?
Hey there, dingbat duck. Yes, we are.
Actually, it's Dapper Duck now.
Dapper duck, you're dingbat duck.
Yeah.
Okay, well, and where's your stutter? That was the funny thing you did.
Where's the...
Oh, I don't stutter. I have a delightful diction.
No, you don't. No, you do stutter, and that's the only thing that's funny about you.
That was good.
He's laughing.
Yeah.
I like this face the duck makes. That good face. Face card. No cash, no credit. I think them singing at the beginning of this episode has me primed for a lot of little, like, me singing bits in this description. Charlie and Dennis find the animatronic storage room, and I so badly want this to be Five Nights at Freddy's.
Man, this is sad.
And they stuck them all in storage, dude. The whole band is here, dude. You got Spaz, the drummer, Chef Greaseball Linguini, Dr. Slice, the Funky Funko Sapien, or whatever he was.
You guys, Five Nights at Freddy's. FNAF at Freddy's. I love the convo about the characters and representation and stuff.
Was he supposed to be black?
Yeah, I think so. And you know what? Now that I think of it, it's good that they're updating that. I mean, you can't have a purple character that does a black voice. If you're gonna put a black person in the band, it's got to be representative of. It was a white guy doing the voice. That was the problem.
Okay, yeah. It's all very complicated stuff,
It is complicated,
It's
man.
tough to navigate it, man.
I don't know what the answer is, so I'm gonna move past it.
I guess I'm not totally sure what this episode is trying to say about censorship, and honestly, I don't really think it does either. And, you know, there's still comedic value in just kind of pointing out that these things exist and have changed over time, but I guess it just feels a little flat. I kind of want them to say something with it, you know? Anyway, they find the boob robot, and I'm obsessed with their whole conversation.
Okay, so I will take the shirt off. Sorry, is it wrong to do this?
If I'm being honest, it feels wrong to me as well.
Right, but
I don't know
why? Why?
I don't know. Is it because she's underage?
No, I mean, she's a robot, man. Like, they're
Robot.
ageless.
Now, wait a second. We could just be 2 mature men with an interest in robotics.
This could be science, is what you're saying.
This might be the first time this season we've seen Dennis and Charlie, like, really be teamed up, and they are thriving. Now if we can just mix up Dee and Frank, we might really get cooking. Anyway, they discover she no longer has boobs, and they try to figure out who they should be mad at for this.
They took her tits off. They literally sanded them off. They mutilated this poor woman.
That is disgusting. Goddamn libs.
Oh my
Unbelievable.
God. And this could be the religious conservatives too, you know, you don't know.
That's true.
Which kind of...
Lopping tits off feels like a religious move,
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
it?
some kind of like...
I don't know anymore. Everybody's crazy these days. This is nuts, man.
Interesting. Both religious conservatives and the libs are anti-boobs in their own way, I suppose. You know, I guess we've seen the conservative outcry about, like, sexy M&Ms.
Further, the company added obese and distinctly frumpy lesbian M&Ms to promote, quote, feminism and body positivity.
And I guess there's sort of a feminist argument against, like, overly sexualized feminine children's characters, like that one fish from Shark Tale. Like, why is she a baddie? Who is this for? Anyway, just kind of interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and call it satire, I don't know. You know, I guess you could argue that it's kind of a weird metaphor thing, like the hair and a woman's right to chop, but I do think this is different because this is more of a framing device, like observing generational differences by way of how their children's amusement has changed, as opposed to, like, hair is a one-to-one allegory for something. I still am not 100% sure what that episode was really about. I don't have that issue as much with this episode. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting idea. It's an interesting conversation. And then they blow past it pretty quickly with Dennis saying,
I don't know anymore. Everybody's crazy these days.
I don't know if I'm glad they did that or if I wish they explored it more. I fear that if they spent too much time here, it could have turned into a woman's right to chop, which, based on history, I would not have enjoyed. But it is like a funny observation, and I kind of wish they could have explored it more if done correctly. I don't know. My notes here literally say I don't know how to feel. I look forward to reading some comments. And I'm gonna go ahead and say conservative and liberal one more time just to make sure it gets picked up on. Conservative. Liberal, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen X, Baby Boomer, Millennial Biden, Trump, Sexy Green M&M, Mythic Quest, Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, okay, that should do the trick. Go ahead and blow up that comment section for me. Cut to the timeout room, now called the Feelings Center, where the dog is therapying Mac and the kid.
Sam, how are you feeling?
I feel stupid.
You are stupid. It's because you're stupid.
Now,
Shut up.
Mac.
You shut up.
Mac.
He's getting sassy.
I was not being sassy.
You were being sassy.
I've said it thrice. I will say it again. I love Mac's behavior here. He's kiddish, he's immature, he wants to be badass, he's crushing it. Also, shout out to whoever's in the dog costume for this delivery.
I don't feel punished. Where's the shame I'm supposed to be feeling?
There's no shame in making a mistake, Mac.
Yes, there is. How else would I know not to do it anymore?
Hey, listen, man, I'm a licensed psychotherapist.
You're a talking dog.
And we get Mac Catholic guilt. But then he launches into this speech, which I'm not sure if we're supposed to take seriously because this episode is so vague about how it feels about all these intergenerational changes.
Because you're a pussy. Now, look, man, that's not your
Christ,
fault.
man.
It's not your fault. This dog, your parents, the whole culture is grooming you to be a pussy. You got no freedom, which means you got no balls.
The framing of this episode feels like it wants to be this epic millennial win, but the way it's bookended by this diddling line...
You diddle this kid. You're definitely on camera. I don't know if you want to be alone with him.
And the repetition of the word balls seems like the jokes on Mac being obsessed with guilt and badassery.
And if you're not held accountable, you feel no guilt. If you feel no guilt, you feel no shame. If you got no shame, you're never gonna hate yourself enough to stop being bad and grow some balls.
Once again, this episode kind of wants to have it both ways, right? Not the worst thing in the world still, but again, the satire feels a little wild card. I don't know. This whole episode is very question mark to me. I just want to like tighten the bolts a little bit, so to speak. Back to Dee and Frank, and we get more generational racial censorship commentary.
You know, that's a Mexican pepper. It's jalapeno business.
Oh, yeah,
And again, we get a very interesting, kind of telling line here.
Now,
Is this the satire you're talking about?
I don't know. If I'm being honest, I don't 100% understand what satire means.
Well, okay. The gang reconvenes to watch the animatronic show.
Right? The show's about to begin. That was always one of the best parts of this place anyway, right?
Love the earplugs bit.
It's party time. What it is?
Earplugs? No, get out of here. No, I want to be able to hear the show.
They realize now, for the first time, that the whole place has been renamed to Robbie Rat's Pizza.
I'm for magic and fun. Rocking out at RobbiePizza.com.
What? Did you say RobbiePizza.com? Did they change the name?
You cannot call a place a website.
The .com thing is really, really funny. But also, sorry, but realistically, how did they not find out the name of the place had been changed until now? Whatever. Suspending my disbelief. It's one small detail, it doesn't really matter. They decide to recreate the old Risky Rats, and I can't help but feel, again, like this should have been like half the episode, rather than a montage in the last 2 minutes of the episode.
You're a kid, you make the rules. Be rude, freak out, and do something cool. Do whatever you want.
They start it up, and we don't even get to see it go downhill. But they wrap it up with this line about how they must have been too sheltered.
Yeah, these kids, they weren't prepared for that amount of fun.
You know what it is? That's because they were sheltered too much.
Which feels like it's a final joke about how the craziness of the 80s isn't all it's cracked up to be. But, you know, it's kind of hard to even tell. This one's fine. I have issues with it, but it didn't offend me in any serious way. I think it could have used tightening. It's kind of like these. I think I like it better than the Gang Inflates and Frank Shoots Every Member, but it needs It needs a little something more for me. The gang goes bowling. Allow me to slip into something a little more dudist. We open on an excellent Mac conversation.
Shit. What are you doing, man? You can't hit it that hard. You gotta use more finesse.
Well, finesse isn't really my style, Charlie. I like to dominate the table into submission.
Badass. Dee comes in and wants her tips, and the patrons of Patty's speak up, which feels bizarre to me.
Give me my tips.
What tips, Dee? What are you talking about? Hey, any of you guys tip Dee today?
What? No. Just because I don't think any of them have ever spoken before. But, you know, it's good to try new things. Anyway, Dee reveals she's going bowling.
Bowling? That's the fancy outing you were hiding from us?
Dee, why are you hiding that from us?
Because it's my thing, okay? It's not your thing, and I don't want you guys getting involved.
Dee arrives at the bowling alley and oh my god!
Why is everybody sitting on their butts?
We've been waiting here for 20 minutes.
Artemis! Yes! Artemis, the waitress, and Dee and Dennis's cousin Gail
Snail? You're on the team?
are all on a bowling team. And honestly, I don't care why. I'm just happy they're here. It is weird to me that they're friends. I guess maybe they met through their interactions with Dee. I feel like it would have maybe made a little more sense if it was Dee's team and she set it up because she's desperate for girlfriends, like in Who Pooped the Bed, where she's trying to be all Sex in the City with everyone. But whatever. I will allow just about anything to be true if it means we get Artemis and Gail. Come on, side characters!
Come on, season 6, let's get sexy! Yeah.
I'm pitting it directly to Artemis. My queen. Also, she's drinking a Jell-O shot with a straw out of a plastic bag.
Anyone want to snort Jell-O shots?
I am absolutely screaming and crying and shitting on the floor. This is so good. I should have had a Jell-O shot ready for this part. Damn it. Fuck. Okay. The guys arrive, and Dennis talks down to the women, and Gail...
What is this, some kind of women's league?
It's a co-ed tournament.
So you'll be competing against men?
Vaginas and penises together again.
And the boys are boying.
Tell you what, why don't we join this league and have ourselves a little competition? Or are you too scared that you'll lose to us?
You did one, so I thought we were doing...
Good old-fashioned Battle of the Sexes episode. This should go off without a hitch. They've done this. It works. We are go for liftoff. And then...
No, okay. All right,
Hey, guys.
Let's have it.
McPoya! They own the bowling alley, which is so random, but I don't give a single shit because McPoyles! Oh, we're off to the races. Frank wants chili cheese fries, but they don't sell them because of a tragic backstory.
Cheese, and we do have fries, but combining them is strictly prohibited!
Why?
The story is too terrible to tell.
Oh, Christ's sake.
You know what,
Nobody cares.
Wonderfully McPoylian. Also, I'm gonna say Battle of the Sexes episode counts as satire. I'm gonna put a string. Take a woman like your kind to find the man in me. The girl group is taking a group selfie, and Artemis reveals she's only here to study a character.
How's my ass look?
Okay. Ooh, that looks pretty good.
Oh, looks huge. Sick.
Can we take another? I wasn't sufficiently in character.
In character?
Yes, character. I'm researching a character I'm playing named Donna Brunswick of the Brunswick Bowling Dynasty.
Oh, goddamn.
Like, this is like Christmas morning for me. Like, I feel lighter. The guys saunter over, and they're in full middle school boy mode. And Charlie's dynamic with the waitress is back to where it was before they ever slept together, and oh my lord, it's so good.
Well. Looks like the frigid bitches are going up against the hanging monster dong Lucky Strike chili cheese fryer.
Is that your name? That's really stupid.
It's too many ideas, man.
I told you it was stupid. They were gonna make fun of us, and they did make fun of us.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I think this episode has the most resuscitate heart so far, and it shows. Right to the waitress's heart. I am jumping up and down, kicking my legs in the air, falling to my knees and crying, seeing the Disney castle for the first time after COVID. Dennis reveals that he used to use mind games to sabotage Dee when they would go bowling.
When she was a kid, she was pretty decent. And I gotta say, she worked really, really hard at it. And to prove that Dee's female mind was mentally weak, I started to go and watch her. And I would say, gutter ball. And wouldn't you know it, every time I said it, she'd roll a gutter ball.
And this is probably the weakest bit of the episode, because I feel like it would be pretty easy for the girls to band together to distract Dennis while Dee rolls, or like make makeshift earplugs for her or something. But she just kind of takes it the whole episode. It could have been done differently. Whatever. I'm not letting it bring me down off the side characters high. Anyway, Mac delivers a classic Mac line while bowling.
Stride, 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 execute! Stride, 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 execute!
Mac is easily the most Mac in this episode than he's been in years. And Gale is iconic as always.
Come on, Sam. What the? What? Okay, why are you so happy right now? Gail, what the hell was that?
My cooter's on fire for Mac.
Ew.
No notes. Frank tries to sneakily mix together his chili cheese fries as the McPoyles watch.
Dennis, cover me. Cover me. This Ryan's eyeballing me, and I'm trying to mix these.
I can't do that right now. No, I got
stand over here.
I got Liam over here eyeballing me. I mean, I think he is.
Then we get an Artemis-Frank interaction for the first time in forever, and a little satirical bit about co-ed sports.
Artemis,
Frank.
how about we test out the back seat of my LeBaron after the roll?
Everybody stop trying to have sex with each other.
You know, another reason why men and women can't compete, D. It's too sexually charged.
Sure! I guess it bears noting that this is technically a gimmick episode, but including the side characters makes it so much more fun than, say, Risky Rats. You know what I mean? And when I'm having fun, I'm able to excuse a lot more. Anyway, Artemis goes to bowl, and my notes here just say, Donna Brunswick!
Donna Brunswick.
Artemis, you can bowl?
No, my character can. Me, I can't bowl for shit.
Where is this Queen's Primetime Emmy? Frank's role is perfect. That is all. Artemis and Frank run off to have sex, and Artemis drops another banger line.
My character is also a giant whore, which is what attracted me to the role in the first place.
Charlie returns from the kid's birthday party, and he and the waitress are acting as they should.
Hey, Tyrone, do not take my spot! Do not take my spot in the air hockey table!
Charlie, shut
You
up.
should see the party they got going there. It's crazy. They got one of
I
those
don't
punching
care.
machines that rates how much power you have in
I
your
don't
punch.
care. Shut up. I'm
It's
trying
totally
to focus.
crazy. By the way, your hair looks great.
Charlie.
Then it's Dennis and Dee, and exactly what you'd expect happens.
Stop it. I know what you're doing.
Gutter ball.
You dick.
I guess I wish we had more of a golden geese moment in this season. I feel like she hasn't had much to do, and I feel like that could have been a fun dynamic to bring back. But instead, the women team up and use manipulation to outsmart the guys in a true Barbie movie moment.
Okay, Dennis is right. Just hear me out. If we want to win, we can't compete like men. But what we can do is use those skills of mental manipulation against them. Do you want to know why? Why? Because they're stupid.
I heard it's because you have no finesse. You don't know how to spin the ball.
Stride, stride, stride.
Hey, Charlie, excuse me. Can I ask your advice on something?
Yeah.
Where are you putting your elbow when you're
My
bowling?
elbow?
Yeah, before you throw the ball, where's your elbow going?
Elbow's like...
Uh-huh. That looks good.
I love it. I love it so much. Frank tries to sneak his chili cheese fries by putting the chili in the bowling ball. And this is good gross out. It's ridiculous, it's playful, it's not predictable in my opinion, it's sunny. Artemis is too in character, and it becomes problematic.
Hey! What happened? What the hell happened?
In the third act of my play, Donna rolls a gutter ball in the big match against her rival high school.
Are you serious? Oh my god. Can you knock it off with the play, please?
Donna Brunswick. Dennis gives another villain speech to the women, and the waitress fights back.
I don't like your sister. She's a terrible person. She's a bitch and she's ugly, and I didn't want her on the team.
She's gross.
Sure, and she's gross, but you know what? You're even worse. And I'm not gonna sit here and let you just shit on her all night long. You think you're physically superior?
Yeah.
Then I challenge you to a test of strength.
They head to the arcade to use the punching machine.
Yeah, okay, do it.
Okay,
go.
good. Show what you got, Dennis! Come on! Let's go, buddy! I summon the very fact that I am a man!
That line could have used a rewrite, but you know what? Glenn sold it. Cheers for Glenn. Then he gives a speech that, again, goes on maybe be a little too long for me, but whatever. Again, I'm having fun, and Glenn's selling it, so whatever.
Me, there's nothing solid left in there. It's just bloody soup and bone broth. Right now, I need to scream. I need you to find me somewhere to scream so I don't have to do it here. No, wait a minute. I'm going to scream here and now, because I can't hold it in, so here we go.
Since Dennis's hand is broken, the men team up with the McPoyles, which is so perfect. And we get the tragic backstory and Big Lebowski references.
I need you to bowl for me.
I'll never bowl again. There I was, practicing for the state semifinals. I was on my way to a perfect game.
I was enjoying some chili cheese fries. They were delicious, and I offered some to Ryan.
I accepted, but not realizing my other hand was in the ball return lane. Little did I know, my ball was returning. It pinched it really bad.
It's like they made this episode for me. RCG, do you know my channel? Like, it's getting weird. Like, you can just admit if you want to be besties. Anyway, Dee gets in on the McPoyles too.
Ow! Ow, I just twisted my ankle.
No!
Yeah, and I need Ryan to bowl for me.
Oh, no way!
McPoyle versus McPoyle, baby. Okay, things are heating up. Unfortunately, Liam has no depth perception and pinches Ryan's finger again. A little bit of a fake out. I would have enjoyed more McPoyle, but I get that Dee has to face her Dennis sabotage, so, you know, I understand. Finally, Dee hallucinates Dennis on the pins, and it's so scary.
Well, Dee, it looks like you're gonna have to roll after all.
Fine. No problem. No, just don't think gutterball, that's all.
But she finally hits the pins. But also no one's there.
Mason! What's going on? Where'd everybody go? Frank's having a threesome in the bathroom with Gail and Artemis, and yeah, I think the guys went to the Sixers game.
How'd they get away so fast? I don't know. Just the very ending of this episode was a little all over the place. I think it could have been streamlined just a smidge, but I had so much fun. I don't even care. Good episode. Good episode. Nana Brunswick! Dennis takes a mental health day. Okay, I gotta undutify. This may be the crowning jewel of this season. Dennis is unable to will his blood pressure lower by strength of mind alone, so he takes a mental health day.
It does look like your blood pressure is a little high, however.
Wait, I have high blood pressure?
Well, yes, but that's consistent with your last visit. We might want to put you on a low dose of blood pressure medication.
Okay, if I wanted my blood pressure to be low, I would simply command my body to make it low. Don't you worry about a thing. Because Dennis Reynolds is gonna figure this all out on his own.
Good cold open, straight to the point, funny, I love it. He gets this heart rate monitor thing and immediately runs into issues when the gang calls with the perfect gang question.
Oh, hey, Dennis, are we above or below sea level? So we're doing some family-style cooking now, and we got this, like, industrial-grade pressure cooker. Pretty badass, man, but, you know, we gotta make sure we're above sea level just to be safe.
Well, we can't be below sea level, otherwise we'd be underwater.
I love that they're all friends on this call. Like, all of the members of the gang are getting along here, calling to ask Dennis a question. I love it. Make the gang friends. Period. Karate and friendship for everyone. Dennis calls mental health day, and Mac is perfectly in middle school boy mode, wanting to understand the rules, and the whole gang is acting exactly as they should. It's perfect.
I'm calling mental health day.
Mental health day? What kind of cuckoo shit is that?
It's a new thing. It's like a sick day, but for your brain, and if somebody calls it, you have to give it to them. You can't ask any questions.
Yeah, I'm calling mental health day, okay? And I'm gonna drive out to the beach and spend the entire day just staring at the ocean.
Isn't your car in the shop? Oh, sorry, that's not a question about mental health. That's a question of logistics.
Damn it. No, you're right.
Hey! I'm so thrilled that I'm running out of room on Make Mac Badass again. So yes, Dennis's Range Rover is in the shop and he goes to rent a car. And it was at this point I knew I would love this episode.
Yeah, I have a reservation under the name Reynolds.
Okay, let me check that out for you.
All right. Wow. A lot of typing you're having to do there.
There was a clip on the Always Sunny podcast where Glenn talked about how Dennis is like this expression of how he wishes he could act around his pet peeves. It's so true, and they're setting him up perfectly for that good old-fashioned Dennis rage, but they're keeping it bottled until it's earned. It's really stellar. Points for rein in Dennis and Dee's evilness and keep rage bottled up until you earn an explosion. That's pretty much the thesis of this episode. This one's kind of looping around some other ones. So he gets a parody Tesla with no keys, but an app.
There are no keys.
Uh-huh.
There's an app.
Right. An app.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I gotta tell you, I don't love that. I have a lot of apps on my phone already, and keys are sort of a system that have existed for millennia. I don't know why we're trying to fix that, but yeah, no, we got apps. We got apps for everything, right? Even for things we already had things for.
I'm like giddy, anticipating how this is all gonna blow up eventually. It's such good Dennis writing. Excellent, excellent work, everybody who worked on this. He takes off and wants to do some kratom, which is so beyond random.
Try this automated steering thing. Hey. Hey. Time to kick this mental health day off with some feel-good plant tonic. My good friend, Mr. Kratom.
I think this was especially funny for me because my friends and I have kind of a running bit about like, we just don't know what kratom is. Like we see ads for it and stuff and we just like can't get to the bottom of it. Like, is it a drug? Is it legal? Is it tobacco? I don't know what kratom is, and at this point I'm too afraid to ask. So for Dennis Reynolds to be consuming it is just, it's funny to me in a way I cannot possibly describe to you. He needs a chaser though. I guess it's a drink. So he goes to a tea shop and cues up some perfect Dennis Reynolds tunes.
Suma, direct me to the nearest tea shop.
Rerouting to teaspoon.
Holy shit. Suma, play Roxette.
Now play.
So excellent. He arrives at the tea shop, and again, this is perfect. I'm just gonna let this scene speak for itself.
One herbal tea, please.
Which flavor?
Flavor, jasmine?
Sorry, I meant for the boba.
The little spheres of tapioca and sugar?
The tea comes with boba.
Well, it doesn't, because I see the tea right there, and I see the boba over there, so why don't we just not combine them?
The system won't let me do that.
Okay, yeah, no, fine. One boba, please. We'll call it a mental health day treat.
All right, you can scan the code.
Why?
Because the code takes you to the app.
That's 2 apps today.
That's 2 apps today. This is so incredibly real. Any college student who's had to use the duo push confirmation, I know you are feeling this in your bones. Dennis gets back in the car but forgets his phone on top of the car, so the car shuts down because the app on the phone is the key to the car. Just then, the gang calls again.
Yes, what?
Hey, Dennis. Hey, man. Hey, real quick, you know that French dip of yours in the fridge? Can we eat that?
No, that French dip has been in the fridge for a month, dude. Do not eat it, and do not call me.
And I love that Dee is getting along with the other guys again, and I love that they're all being occupied all day by a pressure cooker. That's the heart I'm talking about. Anyway, Dennis gets pulled over and the rage continues to build.
Step out of the car, sir.
He heads to a phone store to get a new phone, to get the app to work the car, and again, it's just prime Dennis.
Hi, good afternoon. Fine, and you? Thanks for asking. Listen, my name is Dennis Reynolds, and I'm on a family plan under the name Frank Reynolds, and I need a new phone, please.
Unfortunately, the phones are at our warehouse, so...
Tell me about those.
Phones for new customers.
Oh, for new customer, right. Not for old customers, not for the paying customers, the people who've been paying for months and months, for years and years and years and years. Let's punish those people and give the phones that are right there to the new customers.
It's just how the system works.
That system, I've been running up against it all day.
I guess this whole episode is also kind of satire of, like, the insane world we've built for ourselves. I'm gonna mark it down. Listen to your heart. Dennis calls the gang on his watch to get a pin for the phone for the app for the car, and the gang is doing a scheme?
What if we add a new line to the Frank Reynolds family plan? Would that make me a new customer?
Yeah, I can do that. I just need your PIN.
Right, because the PIN's the key to the phone, and the phone's the key to the car, and everything's been streamlined.
Are you sure this is gonna work?
Charlie, Diamonds are made under pressure. This is a pressure cooker. We're going to cook diamonds. It's very linear.
So genius. I just can't believe no one's ever thought of this before. We're gonna be rich, man.
I know.
Yes. Where has this been? Incredible. Anyway, they don't pick up the phone because they think it's a mental health day test.
Dennis. Oh, do not answer it. It's a mental health day test.
It's a test.
Which is so funny. But Dennis is able to correctly guess the pin. 6969.
You're all set.
Seriously?
That's it?
This is the phone.
It's the phone.
I'm gonna open the box, I'm gonna turn it on, the phone's going to work.
Yep.
Real. Incredibly real. Cut to a montage of Dennis trying to get the phone to work with the car and calling customer service.
Why won't you talk to each other? Talk! 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 Talk!
Dennis Reynolds. D-E-N as in Nancy, X 355.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Yeah, no, I know you didn't get it, because I didn't say it. I didn't say what it was.
Representative. No, representative. Human! Human!
Finally, he gets a human and asks her who he can blame for the system.
I'm sorry, sir.
That's okay. No, that's okay. Daisy, was it? Listen, don't be sorry, okay? I'm not mad at you. I'm a little upset, but I'm upset at the situation, okay? I know you didn't create the system, okay? So you are not to blame. But somebody did create the system. And I would very much like to blame that person.
So he tracks down the Suma founder, who I guess is kind of an Elon Musk analog, which is just hilarious to me. And
Brandon, dinner's ready.
Hi.
Bow, 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 bow. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Bow, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, this ending. Listen, it's not perfect. It's a bit much, and the green screen, frankly, looks awful. But they are breaking reality, and they are having fun with it. I know there's something in the way you smile. You meant to love and then I found out apart. Listen to your heart when it's waiting for you. Listen to your heart, there's nothing that you can do. I don't know where you're going. Listen to your heart before. We go back to the doctor's office, and it was maybe all a kratom hallucination, or just Dennis's revenge fantasy that he used to lower his blood pressure by strength of mind alone.
Well, you lowered your blood pressure by 20 points in less than a minute. But how?
Oh, just let off a little steam all naturally. Told you, Dr. Suma. Oh, excuse me. Hello?
Oh, hey, Dennis. Are we above or below sea level?
I'll be right in.
And all the people he met along the way were just people in the doctor's office? I don't get it either. I don't know if there is an explanation. I wish it was maybe just a little bit clearer, but I have to give them props for going fully surreal with it. They took a big risk, and I have to applaud them. Overall, a ballsy, well-written, fun, surreal, unpredictable episode. I am a big fan. Maybe my favorite of the season. And how can you not love that song in the back and the slow-mo? Like, come on now. Fun. Fun, fun, fun. I'm gonna put one for Break Reality, and then we have our completed chart. I don't know where you're going. Listen to your heart before he tells you. And here it is, the final chart up close so you can see all the details. Everything that I thought they did from the Mary system, my rubric for getting the show back on track, throughout this season. As you can see, I think they did a really good job, and things are looking up, and it's really exciting, and I'll talk more in a second.
Yes, and level 3 is spirit. Emotional battery and public humiliation. Boom, hard alcohol level.
Rock, flag, and eagle. This outfit doesn't really have any relevance to this section. I was just running out of Always Sunny outfits, and I wanted to go Charlie America mode. I wanted to go America all over everybody's asses. Well, would you look what we got here for the hard liquor level. Philadelphia's own. To be completely honest, I'm a little disappointed there are no nickels in here. But as you can see, that has not stopped me from thoroughly enjoying this. I was hoping to have a full bottle to show off in the video, but it's just, it's real good. Oh, say, can you see? It's fully finals week at my college, by the way. I got everything done that I needed to get done. So as a reward, I'm doing my self-assigned homework, but at least I get to make a special beverage. I like doing cherry Coke with this. It's really good, but they didn't have any at Walgreens. So Dr. Pepper it is for tonight. I'm not entirely sure what bitters do, but in my opinion, when you can mix more than just two things together, it makes it truly a cocktail and not just like a college drink, so thank you. For those of you screaming at the screen for me to just take a shot of the whiskey, no. Cheers! See, the bitters, like, I can just taste that this is high class. So, I wanted to have a third part so I could do the Charlie McDennis thing. In terms of emotional battery and public humiliation, you know, the comments section is sure to take care of that on its own. As for me, I want to do sort of a conclusive review and leave off with some thoughts for next time. Since the Mary system was followed pretty much to a T here, I want to put a new system in place, in the hopes that we can narrow in even more on what made this season successful, and move away from those last lingering issues I was picking up on. So following in this season's footsteps, I have engineered a reverse Mary system for next season, and it goes a little something like this. Why? Okay, y'all, let's pick it up now! Okay, y'all, let's pick it up now! Basically, this covers my critiques to keep the energy up, try not to rehash scenes or points. If you have one scene talking about a thing, we don't really need another scene of the same characters talking about the same thing if there's no escalation. You can cover the same thing multiple times if you're adding to it or enhancing it or escalating the bit in some way, but try not to just beat for beat recreate a scene throughout the episode. I think of the Gang Inflates, multiple pitch sessions happen on inflatable furniture. It's not really adding much. It feels like a retread. It feels like I've already seen this before in this episode. You know what I mean? Along with this keep forward momentum and what we screenwriters would call the show don't tell rule, or what we improvisers would call shooting the deer. We don't want to hear people talk about a thing for too long. You can talk about it a little bit, and then we want to see it happen. R. Revise, rewrite, revisit. Fix the structural issues and the pacing. Fit more into each episode if you can. Keep revisiting traits, locations, and relationships we already know exist. And above all, have each plot tied together in some way. My ultimate challenge to the crew would be to try to fit as much in as possible and also have everything be necessary. I think part of why this season feels weird or slow to me in some spots is that it feels like there's not that much happening in each episode, but still, most of what's happening doesn't get tied up in the end. It doesn't contribute to the larger plot. Like, things just happen. I want more in each episode, and I want it to all have a purpose. A. Attempt a scheme. Have the gang see an issue, think of a scheme, try to perform it, and fail wildly. I get that you may be tired of that. It was the formula for a very, very long time. Just try it and just see if you find that old voice. I think it might remind you of why it works so well. You don't have to like it. You don't have to go back completely to the golden age or the postmodern era. I just want you to try. I just want an honest to God scheme or plot. And M. Mix up the teams. Give Dee and Frank things to do. Don't leave anyone on the sidelines. And play with which characters might be fun to pair up. I saw a lot of Dee and Frank just being left out or left on the sidelines and not given anything to do this season. That is absolutely squandering two of the greatest characters of your show. Give them things to do. Charlie, Dennis, and Mac don't always have to be the leaders. Let's see Frank and Dennis go on an adventure. Let's see Mac, Charlie, and Dee do something. New stories and new areas for comedy can arise just by mixing up which characters are in scenes together. As you can see, these critiques are, I think, very doable. I feel like the Mary system had really big topics to tackle, but these are very concrete and easily implemented, I think. And I think that's a good sign of how this season worked within the larger Sunny arc, you know? While I still have my issues with these episodes, the overall quality here is most definitely better than last season. They've successfully gotten themselves into a position where these small tweaks really encompass most of my lingering issues. And yet, I wonder if it ever will be the same. Hey folks, yet another Editor Mary here, nearing the end of the video, very exciting. The way that I set up this next part of what I'm gonna say, at the time it made sense. I was trying to kind of rebut this comment I kept seeing about, like, I'm too stuck in the past, the show has moved on, it's impossible to return it back to the golden age, and I should stop trying, and anyway, the crew is older now, and they've run out of energy, so why even try to fix things? And I was trying to kind of rebuttal that, but then I was like, why even feed into that? Like, I don't know these people, I don't feel comfortable, like, speculating on whether they've, like, run out of energy because they're older now than when they started the show. Like, I don't know, we're all aging, not to freak you out, but I don't know, I cut out a big part because I have different thoughts now about what I said. So this next section isn't set up very well, so I don't know if it makes sense, so I just wanted to hop on and say, basically what I'm trying to talk about here is this idea that it may not be possible to return to the golden age, but I still think that there are improvements to be made. It's sort of a philosophical debate of whether a show ever can be brought back to a particular time, or if that was just the time and place it was then, and we should just try to do the best we can now. So my argument is kind of that my new reverse Mary system is just trying to do the best we can now, and the original Mary system is more like trying to return it to the golden age, if you care. This might be just splitting hairs, but it felt important at the time, so I want to honor that. So here's part 3 of the video. I don't mean to say that any new seasons of Sunny will necessarily be bad just because the golden age of Sunny was a particular time and place and it may be difficult or impossible to really capture that again. At a certain point, I wonder if that can really even be helped, or if shows just kind of have a lifespan and inevitably kind of run out of steam. I don't know, but I think it's a fair point to discuss in terms of whether it's actually possible to return Sunny to the golden age. But if I was gonna try, I would use the Mary system. So then, seeing the Mary system play out this season, I think we're getting closer. At least closer than we were last season. But again, I'm starting to wonder if a true return to Prime Sunny is possible. So instead, my more pointed critiques here, the Uram system, are just kind of for overall improvement. If I were to see this episode in a vacuum, these are the tips I would give. The Mary system was more focused on bringing the show back from the edge to sort of a more comfortable golden age type of place. Whether it's truly possible to get back there exactly, I'm not sure. But now that they've backpedaled just a little bit away from the kind of dire straits I felt like they were in, I now would just give these. I'm not sure if following these points would or even could bring the show back to the golden age. I don't know if anything could really do that. It's really up for debate. But if I were to keep what was done well in this season working and to improve on what wasn't, this is what I would do. Still though, on the other hand, what I see as improving the show is inevitably linked to what I like best about the show and what I find most well written and funniest, which is on some level my own opinion. I've tried my best to present to you why I think the way I do about these things with whatever evidence I can, but at the end of the day, it's impossible for me to not have any biases or personal taste, and try as I might, I can't always help where that comes out. So maybe my idea of improving the show is moving it closer to what it was in the golden age, and maybe it's not possible to fully do that, but in my opinion, even moving in that direction is a good place to start. So yes, if I was trying to do that, this is what I would do. What do you guys think about this? Is it possible to bring a sitcom back to its prime? Is Sunny on the right path to doing that? What other tweaks would you like to see implemented? Let's chat in the comments, but be nice. I look forward to seeing if the Mary and Uram systems are put into effect in the coming seasons. Personally, I hope they do. As for whether I'll do another one of these, we'll see. The first one was a passion project. This one felt sort of required, and while I did have a lot of fun, it's also a lot of work, and it's hard to return to something you've already talked about and find new things to say, and it's hard to try to hear out and respond to how people received it while still staying true to your own opinions, and it's hard to write and film and edit something that feels a little like a retread of what you've already done. I'm starting to wonder if this is how the Always Sunny team feels. And I love doing it, you know? I decided to do this because I like it, but it's not without its challenges. Whoa, this is coming untied. I'm like going babushka mode. I think at least for now, I want to make some new stuff. I've been watching a lot of Big Joel, shout out, and the way that he thinks and presents ideas and chooses topics is really interesting and inspiring to me. I love dissecting TV shows, and I want to keep doing that, but I want to try other things too. Weirder things, kind of poetic things, more spur of the moment, what do I find interesting right now type things. But also, who knows how I'll be feeling by the time a new season of Always Sunny comes out. I may completely eat my words and be excited to dive right back in, but I don't want to feel like I'm required to, you know? Because I think that makes me want to do it less. At the very least, I don't want this to be the only thing that I do. This YouTube shit is a journey, huh? Thank you guys for walking down this winding road with me. Just like Always Sunny has grown and changed, I hope to keep growing and evolving in the type of content I make and how I make it, keeping the stuff I do well and improving the stuff I don't. So I'm gonna try to do that, and I hope the Always Sunny team will do the same. And yeah, maybe if or when I talk about Always Sunny again, we'll both have improved and grown, and it'll be a whole new type of review. So cheers to the Always Sunny crew. I'm rooting for us.
What the hell are you doing, Deandra?
Oh, well, this is very important, Frank. We gotta nail the board down to the bar.
Oh, hey guys, I didn't see you there. Come on in. Welcome to Patty's Pub, located conveniently and somewhat bizarrely in my grandmother's basement. Shout out to the previous owners who built this place. You guys are legendary. That's all I have to say. And would you look at that? I won. But instead of stomping on your game pieces, I'm gonna be nice, and I'm gonna fix you a little drink for watching all the way to the end. What'll it be? Got it. Shh. Glug, 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 glug. Oh, just how Mama used to make. Thank you so much for sticking around to the bitter end here. I want to say thank you again for the overwhelming positivity on that first video. It truly, truly does mean the world to me. I put a lot of time and a lot of effort into these videos, and every little compliment just makes my day. It really does. You know, while you're sitting here in my bar, I might be able to interest you in some of my other tasty content. For example, I have a new song out called Lavender Coffee. There's a music video for it too. There's another one called The Catacombs and a music video for it coming out. I don't know if it'll already be out by the time this video comes out. It is. Both songs and music videos are out, and my album Moonflower is coming out on January 19th, which is this Friday as I'm editing this. Oh my god! And if you hate music, my other video essays might be more your speed. They're here on my channel as well. I've got a playlist. Take a look-see. And if you really like this video, feel free to leave a thumbs up, hit the bell, subscribe, all the things they tell you to do. If you like less formal, more spur of the moment, more frequent content, you may enjoy my Twitter or TikTok or Instagram, which are all linked. I also have a Patreon, so if you want to support the channel and give me a little bit of dough each month, you can get some behind the scenes content, and I'll read your name at the end of the video. I also encourage you to be nice to people in the comments. I anticipate another inevitable wave of people yelling at me. Just ignore them. You know, I want my channel to feel like this, you know? I want it to be a cozy little dive bar where everybody knows your name. So, you know, think of it like that. If a hostile guy came into our bar yelling, we'd just probably leave him alone till he left. So I try to delete the really nasty ones as they come in. So just, I don't know, be kind. Let's curate a space of kindness here. The rest of you guys, thank you. Welcome. I am so glad that you're here. And I think that's gonna about do it for this one. Thanks again for watching. And until next time, I'll just be sitting right here taking her easy for all us sinners. Thank you so much again, guys. Bye! Hold on, before you go, I wanna do something really quick. Real ones know this reference. Company, always on the run. Oh, I was born, 6 gun in my hand. Behind a gun, I'll make my final stand. That's why they call me bad company, and I can't deny. Bad company till the day I die. Ha ha, oh yeah, till the day I die.